Silent screams crawl 1,000 miles. Stale smoke and regret hang in the air. Every face a mask, no one plays fair. Spill the coffee, spill the truth. Every state a story proof. True crime cafe whispers in the night. Truth hides in shadows under buzzing light. True crime cafe, no escape, no way. The secrets spill out before the break of day. Who's the liar? Who's the saint? Who's the sinner behind the pain? Every mugshot a shattered soul. Every corner hides a darkened hole. Darkened hole. True crime cafe whispers in the night. Truth hides in shadows under buzzing light. True crime cafe, no escape, no way. The secrets spill out before the break of day. Blood on the counter, the coffee's cold. Steel knife flashing, stories untold. Broken cup, broken dreams, broken lies. Neon lights flicker like alibis. True crime cafe whispers in the night. Truth hides in shadows under buzzing light. True crime cafe, no escape, no way. The secrets spill out before the break of day. Footsteps echo, boots on tile. Silent screams crawl 1,000 miles. Stale smoke and regret hang in the air. Every face a mask, no one plays fair. Spill the coffee, spill the truth. Every state a story proof. True crime cafe whispers in the night. Truth hides in shadows under buzzing light. True crime cafe, no escape, no way. The secrets spill out before the break of day. Who's the liar? Who's the saint? Who's the sinner behind the pain? Every mugshot a shattered soul. Every corner hides a darkened hole. Darkened hole. True crime cafe whispers in the night. Truth hides in shadows under buzzing light. True crime cafe, no escape, no way. The secrets spill out before the
All right, all right. Welcome back to the cafe, everybody. It is that time again. We are back in Idaho, guys. Part 7 of the ISP supplemental reports read. We're jumping back into that. Took a little break from it, caught up on some other stuff going on, and we're back to it. Mama Bear will be joining me here shortly. Uh, and I do have the link pinned up there if Jesse or Eddie or anybody wants to join us while we read these. Much appreciated. Always, always looking forward to it. So, that being said, guys, the next step is going to have to be, I guess, well, maybe oh, hey, hi, whoa, what's up? Welcome, everybody, and welcome, Mama Bear. Hello, the number one co host, as she claims, self proclaims. I love it. You got to love it. It's true, but you got to love it. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us. How are you today, Mama Bear?
I'm good.
You're good?
Mm-hmm.
Just good? Are you great?
I'm a
Not
little
great.
tired from the weekend, but other than that, I'm good.
So was I. I couldn't wake up this morning. I
I
opened my
had
eyes.
to.
I sat up. I made a cup of coffee. I was watching TV, and then I woke up again.
Oh,
Yeah, I fall asleep sitting up all the time. It's ridiculous. But I was up early this morning. So anyway, plus then I had to get up and do a bunch of crap around the house real quick. So here we are.
hola, Amy.
Hola. You like that because it gives you a chance to say that, huh?
I know.
Uh-huh. Jup. I thought so. Speaking of Amy, Miss Amy Conway, welcome to you. Miss Tandy's on lunch break with us again today. I love it. Kent Corbett, welcome back to you. Simply Solo Yenzal, welcome back to you. Lucy is in the house again. Lucci, good to see you. Sunny Edits, welcome back to you. Pappy's in the house. Welcome back, brother. Good to see you. Stuart Jones, you too. Witchy, welcome back to you. DKM, good afternoon to you. And I got to turn that off. Beep, 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 beep. The done one, welcome back. Good trouble, wonderful to see you. Hope Norris, welcome back to you. I thought I saw, yep, Jesse Schul's in the house today. Wonderful to see you, my friend. Tomboy Charm jumped in here right away, throwing out the oh, it won't show up. There it is. Good Lord. Miss Paula, good to see you this morning as always. Noni McPoppins first in the house. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. I'm hoping Eddie will join us today too. Paco Jewel. So buenos dias to you, Miss Conway. Wonderful to see you. James Moan. Wonderful to see you. Gerard Butler here. All right. That's awesome. We got Gerard Butler in the house today, folks. That's awesome. Appreciate you, James. Canadian Cat Lady, good to see you. As always, wonderful to have you in the house. Please, guys, on your way through the door, hit that like button. Use your elbow, your knee, your foot, whatever it takes. You can headbutt if you want to. Just don't leave a mark. And share this out. Let everybody know what we're doing. Back to the reading. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Hopefully, we'll be done with it soon. And I should be back here later on because I want to catch up with some other stuff for the secondary show. There's a lot of other stuff going on out in the world that I want to catch up with. So I kind of had them reversed, but I want to do this reading thing and get out of the way. So that's why we're doing that first. And then later this afternoon, hopefully I will be back for a second show, like I said, and we'll be catching up on some other stuff in the true crime world. So please tune in if you will. Cat lady, that should make you happy. I am me, and yes, you are. I am me. You are you. Diego's Coffee House. I will be your server if you hit the like button, please. I love it, James. He's awesome. I love it. It's always got something fun to say. Charm free. Good afternoon. Welcome to you. Thank you for joining us today. So you had a good weekend then, Mama Bear?
Yeah. I mean, I worked, but yeah.
But did I or did I not hear you say you're off for 4 days?
Yeah, I go back Thursday.
That is awesome.
I'm pretty sure. Let me double check.
It is awesome. Yes. Good thing you don't drink coffee. That's crazy, Tandy. Coffee is amazing. Whenever God dropped them coffee beans on the planet and said, let's grow this and see what happens. The best thing he ever did.
Yep.
Thursday? Okay. Besides making me, of course. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm never, ever that vain. I promise you. By all means, never. Well, and we can't get enough of you either, Cat Lady. I appreciate that very much. Very much. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat. I just want to wait just a couple minutes to make sure we got everybody in here. Yeah. What I just said didn't mean nothing.
It really didn't.
Yeah, it didn't. Before we get started, there we go. Tomboy said, I've been telling Tinny that for almost 18 years. And how does it work out for you there, Tomboy? Because I know it don't work for me at all. I think I'm going to pull the trigger this week or weekend and actually flip my desk, folks. I know I say this. I've been saying this for, I don't know, a year now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to actually do it. I started moving some stuff and kind of got a little bit of oomph in me. I got to go around and you know how when you get, you got ceiling fans and they run all the time
Mm-hmm.
and you get them stupid things from the fan, like dust that sticks.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't handle it. I looked up. If you guys noticed me looking up recently, that's why I've been doing it. It's driving me insane. Oh my God. Hold on, Mama Bear. 1 minute, folks. Be right back.
Okay. Tell Caden hi. Hello, Brandy OG. Look at you go. 30 months. Wow. Which is a lie, as we always say, but that's awesome. Hello, Moonbreaker. And Tomboy and Legendary. Cat Lady. Miss Tandy. Mr. Moen. Serving coffee in his kilt.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Moonlit Baby, good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Hiya, Moonlit.
Randy B, the OG's in the house. 30 months. Way longer than that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Randy's been with me for, I think this October will be 4 years. I think. Yeah, 4 years. She's the #1 original of everybody here. From the other direction I came from. But congrats, happy anniversary, Brandy. At least for YouTube's sakes, 30 months, so be it. And yes, it's a long time. Very much appreciated. Moonbreaker, welcome back to you, my friend. Good to see you. Megatron's in the house. Always a megastar. Thank you for being here, Meg. We appreciate you very much. Moonlit Baby, good to see you again. Mayhem and Miracles, thank you for being here. Paco, I think I got everybody so far. 58 peeps in the house so far. Please hit that like button if you would, please, and thank you guys. And share this out. Let everybody know what we're doing. Again, if you want to join Mama Bear and I up here, there is a link pinned to the top of the chat for you to click and hop up here. I don't see Eddie yet today, so hopefully he'll pop in here with us.
Hiya, Meg.
Keep it real. Good to see you. M&M's in the house. Oh, Mayhem of Miracles. I like that, Tomboy.
How you keep it real?
No trigger pro. Hey, who said that? Where'd it go?
Hmm.
Who was that? It went by real quick here. Charm free. Again, wonderful to see you. Who the hell? Why is my chat doing this? There she is, Miss Christy Nevada. Welcome back, Christy. Good to see you. Thank you to my blue crew and all of you for being here. I do
Hi,
appreciate it.
Christy.
Was it Legendary CEO? Is that who? Are you here? I swear that's who I saw. My eyes are playing tricks on me. Sunny Edits, good to see you. Oh my God. Did you see Legendary in here by Mama Bear?
I don't think so. Yes.
Mama Bear's not here with me either now.
What? I just answered you. Can you not hear me? There you go.
There. Bingo.
There you go.
Legendary. Thank you. Okay. Welcome, Legend. Good to see you, Legendary. All right. Sweet Melissa, welcome back to you. Come on in the door. Grab a seat. Like Tomboy said, get comfortable, grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Please sit down and have a conversation with Mama Bear and me.
Hello, Dirt.
At all. I see you trying to talk, but I don't hear. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Say something.
Something.
Now I hear you. So I'm kind of a ding dong and a bit of a dingbat because when the boss lady just called me, I turned the volume down so I could hear her and never turned it back up.
Yeah, I figured it was either that or you muted me.
I'm just an idiot sometimes. Sorry, folks. My brain is. Dagburn, Johnny Gobbles, Dead Floozy Mama. Welcome back, Miss Diane. Good to see ya. Afternoon Blue Crew, the best bunch of heifers on YouTube. Just saying. Wow. She said it, not me. And Tandy agrees. I agree. I'm not saying the heifer thing, but the best bunch of mods for sure. No, you aren't sticking me in that one. Mama D, welcome back. Good to see ya. Keep it real. It's a long name. I did not, Stuart. I did not. I would never do that. But I do have the best mods on YouTube. I promise you that much. That's fact. And you can argue all you want. You won't win. Wow, I just stuck up for you and you called me a ding dong. They have no respect for me, folks. I feel like, what was his name? Rodney. Who was the comedian? Rodney
Dangerfield.
No respect. Lucci. Hey, Lucci. I get confused with her. I don't know what name to call her sometimes. You are on time. Yes, ma'am. We have not started yet. Karma Police, welcome back to you. Good to see you. I hope you all had an amazing weekend and I hope you're having a great start to your week. It's cold here today. Really cold.
No.
It was cold last night. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining.
I say it's cold.
I
it's
am not
comfortable.
It is nice, yes.
I was gonna say It says it's 71 here, so
it is. Well, it got like we went down in the 50s last night here. It's 68 here. Cold in Chi-Town too.
I keep my house at 64 to 66, so
we do too. I do at least. I don't like it beyond that because it's nice and comfortable. I'd rather be able to have to put a hoodie on and than to have to strip down and run around half naked. So
but Matt said, you can always put more on, but you can only take so much off.
Yeah, you guys are lucky. I have my air because otherwise you guys will probably be traumatized big time. Big time. I don't like wearing clothes when I'm hot, so just saying. Hoodie and short, me too, Pap. All year long. All year long, bro. If I can get away with it. If it's not too cold out, I'll wear shorts all year long. basketball shorts or
That's
whatever.
the problem. It's 9,000 degrees in Cleveland.
What?
That's what she said.
It is not. Well, she said if you're in the city area, then maybe a little warmer. Type of kind of freaking as happens. It totally. Oh God, that sucks. It's chilly. I love it. Yeah, it's the best time of year. This fall, it teases me like when it does this because I get irritated because it is irritating because I love fall so much and I look forward to it every year. So when it does this thing here that it's doing and it kind of feels like fall, I expect it to be fall, and then it's not fall. It's 100 degrees again in 2 days. So
You know, fall is not till the end of September.
yeah, I know. Stop swearing at me.
Stop it.
Stop swearing at me. Mittens for kittens. Good to see. It's in the 90s here. No way. I'm good. I'm good with that. There goes. Just like Emily A. wearing shorts all year long. I got them chicken legs I got to show off, you know.
Yes, keep it real. Fall and spring is the best.
I remember them days, Mama D. It's been a long time, but fall, yeah, 100%, bro. I agree with you. I love fall and spring. Um, I do not do summer. Winter's okay as long as we don't get hammered with 50 below zero weather. But I'm getting old. I can't handle that stuff anymore. Micro Blue, welcome back to you, Matt Emilo. Good to see you guys. Please make sure to hit that like button on the way through the door. It looks like we got 73 people in the house and 49 likes. Let's see if we can make that match, please. And thank you. Great to see you all again today. 74 in Arizona. Really?
Hiya, Matt.
That's kind of cool for Arizona, I thought.
Jeez.
Sweating from everywhere. My earlobes are sweating, y'all. That's how bad it is sometimes when your knuckles are sweating. My kneecaps are sweating. Thank you. Keep it real. Appreciate that very much. Please do. Oh, yeah, I guess it would too. Yeah. I've always heard my wife's aunt lives in Arizona and she moved there from New Mexico. And she was like, it's not bad here. And I'm thinking, it's 101. What are you talking about? That's not good. She goes, but it's dry. Okay, so when you can go outside on your sidewalk and cook an egg for breakfast, that's a little too much for me. Which they did that. They tried that out. They cooked eggs in their driveway one time just to see if it would work, and it truly did. I'm too nice. I'm sorry. Damn it. What should I do to be different? I've heard that more than once. I've been telling
you want to be somebody other than yourself?
Well,
explain that to me.
That's true. But I'm not that nice anymore. I've been telling everybody to shut up lately, remember?
Yeah, we don't say that in our house.
What, shut up?
Yeah. Shut your face, because it's more polite.
Shut your face. Shut your mouth. Close your face. Shut the hole.
But you're not wanting to be polite, so
when I say that, I'm not trying to be polite. No, that's right. Well, I'm going to be nice to all of you in here because I love you guys. But anybody else out there that's running their mouth about stupid shit and making up stuff and telling different stories that don't belong, shut up. Shut your face, like Mama Bear. So I'm going to start saying it that way then. Shut your face.
Shut your hole.
There you go. Close the hole.
I haven't heard pie hole in a long time.
I just watched a video. The lady said it was Hunter in the back seat of the cruiser, but that's Jack. That's absolutely Jack. Everybody got confused. I had to listen. I went back and followed them around through the video twice. You follow what clothing they're wearing. That's how you know for a fact. And Hunter didn't have a hat on. Jack always did. That was Jack. No big deal though. Shut doesn't go up, but airplanes do. So take my advice and shut up too. That was cute. That was cute. I like that. doesn't go up, but airplanes do. So take my advice and shut up too. That was good. That was cute, Meg. My mom used to tell the kids to close their face. Oh, Sarge has been busy with work and stuff, Breaker. And he's been kind of staying away from some of this until something happens because he doesn't get into the whole other side of this. Sarge is all about nothing but the constitutional shit with this, and that's it. That's what brought him in, and that's what keeps him around with it. Other than that, he can't get much into it. Still want to watch the 11/12 original with headphones. Yes, we did watch it last night in Discord, and there's some strange sounds that are going on. I mean, I don't know. You listen too, Barry. You think like no, but if I could, I would because I know she loves them. She would probably eat a box a day if I sent it to her. Probably a good idea. Everybody even it sounds like she just pulled one out, James. See what you did? It's funny that see? It's an addiction, folks. It's an addiction. Mama Bear and her honey bun kind of fits together. Honey and bears, yes. Money talks. Sure does. I wish I had some. Did you hear screams at 3? Yes. Yes, we heard something going on. We heard people run. It sounded like people running downstairs. We heard the dog going insane. We saw after we watched that further on to about 3:50. Was that Bear? Around 3:50. And we heard that other vehicle come around the corner.
So I don't know. I was kind of tired, but I think so.
Yeah, there was a lot more going on in that video, folks. Sound wise, there's talking. You can hear male voices talking. I heard that a couple times. And then towards the end of the video, at the very end, I think it was close to 3:50. Tomboy, you were in there. I swear there's a vehicle that comes around the corner. It's a real souped up type SUV. It's got a big motor, it sounds like, and some kind of a muffler system going on it. And it grumbles and growls as it's running and it stops. It sounds to me like it stops and maybe pulls into that parking lot there, or at least stops in front of it. Something happens for a minute or so and then off it goes. I want to know what that was about too. Very interesting. Yeah, there was a couple cars driving really slow that night around the area. A lot of sounds came out of that. A lot. Sounded like music playing. Yeah, it sounded like Nelly was playing in the background. So maybe that was the dancing part of it. I don't know. We'll find out, but maybe Eddie's not going to join us. KP, what it do? Good to see you. Yeah, he is. Was that the lady that came home? And that's what I was thinking last night, Good Trouble. But why would she seem to stop in front of their house, though? It sounded like she stopped right in that vicinity right there because you could hear it. And then the motor quiets down and it kind of idles. And then it kicks in like she or whoever's driving it hits the gas and off they go. It was a little strange. Matt Moy was having a party. Ah, interesting. If that's true, then wow. Okay. That could make sense with the music, but why did nobody hear or see anything then? Because they live right behind that house.
Because they were drunk and partying?
That's probably why, yeah. I want to know how the cops know BK. That never happened, KP. That's a lie. She's a complete liar. She said after the fact she never saw him. That never happened. And see, because people do shit like that, she puts stuff like that out or says whatever. She was trying to save herself from a DUI is all I think she was doing. That's my opinion. I don't believe a damn thing that Molly McMichaels has to say. Oh, look at Cat Lady loves Nelly. Country grammar.
Meg, she was in here earlier.
Who was?
Somewhere.
Lucci. She was here.
Yeah,
she just
her
said
pot stirrer.
A couple of minutes ago. Where'd you go, Lucci?
The jumbo, James.
Hey, Lucci, you got some explaining to do. The little ones, of course, the jumbo ones. The more the better, right? I can't stand them things. No, no, no. Isolating the senses can amplify. Yes, very true, Witchy. That's where the 3 Banfield boys came from. Ah, okay. That makes sense. I didn't know that until today. I had no idea there was a party going on. And wasn't there video of Pete and another boy walking down the hill behind the house singing? See, I didn't see that either, but there probably is. Probably. There is a doc that says that there was someone in the Linda Lane apartments that took his dog out. Yes, there is. We're going to get to it hopefully today. And I want to know, and they never followed up with it either. That's an important scenario right there. Lana talked about that last night, and they never followed up with it. They just let it. They didn't follow up with anything, folks. They never did. It drives me insane. There's Lucci. People are gonna be big mad about what now? What happened? From my understanding, Mama D, Matt lived in the back, like back behind them. I don't know the exact house, but it's in the back behind their house. Oh no. What are you doing, Lucy? Spill it. All right. We're going to start this. We got 73 peeps, guys. Please hit the like button. Let's get this bus rolling. Yes, like Christy said, right behind 1122. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. That's why I've been telling them all to shut up. I heard Matt and Kaylee had something going on. Never heard that before, Paco, but you never know.
It sounded like Kaylee had something going on with quite a few.
Yeah, like 5 different people, I think she was seeing based on the reports we've seen.
There might have been an MM in that list.
Could be. All right, let me get this link up here again. Hang on. I don't like that I have to download this every time. No idea.
It was from the sorority that was planning.
It's a good question, though. Where did it go?
Yeah, it was after her breakup. Which, like Meg said, good for her. She was in a long-term relationship for 6 years, so. And that's young to be in a relationship for that long.
I still would like to know what the hell this is.
Someone on my street is burning chocolate? Ew.
What?
Burnt chocolate.
Anybody have an idea what this might be? This has been driving me nuts. I keep going back and looking at this all the time. The photographs that we got from ISP. There he is. Oh my God, I never see him. He is here. Edward, good to see you, buddy.
Surprise.
Hiya.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you. Great to see you, sir. I was kind of disappointed. Didn't think we were going to get to see you today. Yeah, I don't know.
I was kind of looking into something real quick. When we were discussing yesterday, we haven't revisited all, everything about surrounding the coroner and the autopsies and all that. So,
right.
I dug a little further, and it's really interesting because you know, when they vacate this non-dissemination order, I don't think we're going to get any of the, you know, medical examiner findings, because they were so secretive about it early on. There's something that they don't want us to know.
That's and you know what, Eddie? Thank you. I was going to point that out yesterday, when we were kind of slightly talking about the autopsy stuff, and I think you're right. I think that's why we're only getting the generic reports we've gotten instead of getting the full blown like autopsy report thing at this point. And I gotta wonder, were they hiding gunshot wounds? Maybe.
Yeah, I've found a NBC News Today interview with Kathy Mabut on November 17th, and she said that they were stabbed with a large knife, and there's a little bit of bruising, but nothing significant.
Right?
Isn't that something?
Kaylee's face was completely disfigured, folks. That's more than a little bit of bruising. What is? I never saw all those footprints before. That's wild. Okay, yeah, that's insane to me. That talk about trying to take away from it. That's a big boot print. Couple more minutes, folks, and we'll get this moving for sure. Now that Eddie's here for sure. Thank you, Christy. And guys, again, real quick, we do not expect donations, tips, anything like that towards the channel ever from anybody. But anybody that chooses to support the channel in that sense, we absolutely appreciate it. It keeps my channel going, keeps my bills paid to keep the channel going, internet and all that fun stuff. So thank you to anybody that chooses to do that. See, I guess you could climb that tree over there and get over on top of that and come around, maybe, but I don't know why you just wouldn't go in the door. But there again, if there was somebody upstairs when Kaylee went up there, they either were there before they came home and waited for him, lying in wait, or that's the other option, is somebody came in and went through that door. And when I listen to that, if you guys want to, we can pull up Outcast version of it, and I'll listen to that. We can listen to that, the slowed down version of the 1112 audio. I mean, it's kind of slow, okay, but there is some interesting sounds for sure, and they make you wonder. You can kind of hear the dog running back and forth. He's outside. I'll tell you right now, Murphy's outside. There's no two ways about that. I believe that he's up here. It sounds to me like somebody went and put him out on this. There's SRBBB. Good to see you. It sounds like somebody let him out on this deck here. Okay. Because you can very clearly hear him. If you think about that, if he was here barking, that camera is over to your left here, about 50 feet from that. Well, maybe about 60, 70 feet from where this deck is. And it definitely sounds like he's outside. It doesn't sound muffled like he's inside the house. And you can hear him going, sounds like he's running down here and then back as he goes away and the barking goes away and comes back, which is really sad to me because there's no curtains on these windows, folks. And that's Maddie's room down there at the end. So he probably was able to see something going on, which kind of is heartbreaking to think about that, because you can hear him a few times barking, like insanely barking at somebody or something that he was angry at. You know what I mean? That angry, I'm going to get you bark instead of just the let me in bark. So it's really sad to think that poor dog had to see that happen. That's the question, Tandy. Who let him back in? It had to have been, if we think about this, who would have let him back in? I'm going to say I don't think the killers stopped and said, oh, let's let the dog in. Yes, all lies from YouTube. So I think he never came home until later, and Xana was taking him up when she ran into what was happening, in my opinion. What do you mean by that, Christy? Are you talking about the dog? That's another good thing. Keep it real. Yeah, he probably would have had blood on him. But maybe it sounds like they let him in after, I'm going to guess at this point, I think we believe that there was a cleanup now, folks, for sure. Okay. And that sounds like what happened. So who would have done that? Who would have done that? I'm going to give you one of two people. Welcome, you bet. You think it was Anna. Okay. Yeah, but we hear him outside barking up to 3:50 in the morning. Literally, you can hear it. I'll let you guys hear it. And it's loud. And you can definitely tell it's outside. Welcome, Randy Furr. Good to see you, buddy. Lady Speedwell, wonderful to have you here. Yes, Murphy. Gotcha. Sorry, Christy.
So a moment ago, you asked about a cleanup and who could do that, right?
Right. Yep.
I think we can eliminate the two surviving witnesses.
As far as cleanup goes,
Mhm.
to an extent, yeah.
It's like these lies that they're telling. I mean, yeah, it's granted they're telling lies, but whose lies are they telling?
That's a good point. Very good point.
No worries, man. Appreciate the opportunity.
Very good point. Jesse, I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. Come up here and explain, if you will. Stop the
I
press.
did.
The door was left open. Jessica Volk, welcome. Right. Well, that could be too, but it sounded like that's a good point, Jessica. Maybe he did just go outside on his own. But then he was let back in, or maybe he came back in on his own. If he wasn't up on that upper deck, then he was out in the yard barking. So that's a good point. And came back in on his own, went upstairs. So Kaylee's room the door must have been left open if he went in there and got up under that desk like he did. Welcome, Rowena. Good to see you, dear. So what are we talking about with this blanket, and what are you mowing on now, bro?
Peanut butter and jam.
Jesse's delicacy.
But yeah, Lana did a live an hour or so ago, and there was in evidence a pink found in Dylan's bedroom, a pink blanket that I think this might have been one of those. I don't quote me on this, but I have a faint memory of something that they gave back to Dylan, and then they went and got it back from her. Like they gave it back to her too quick. Anyways, they didn't actually process it and figure out that it had blood on it until later. But found in Dylan's closet, apparently, a pink blanket and a jacket with blood on it.
Huh. Okay, that's new.
I think the jacket was Bethany's, wasn't it?
A track jacket. Okay.
I'm pretty sure Lana said it was found in Dylan's bedroom.
Whose blood? Did they know whose blood it was? Did they test it to see?
Of course, they don't say.
Of course. I really hope we get some lab reports on some of this stuff as far as like who was, you know what I mean? Welcome, Samir. Good to see you. She's still alive. Oh, is she? Jesus, I did not know that. What time did she go live? I thought she was live this morning. One of the reasons why I held off for a while.
Yeah, this was a couple hours ago that I got this info.
Oh, she's still going then. Okay. Yeah, it probably wasn't tested. That's true. Wendy Adelson. I don't know who that is. Okay.
I don't think they found out that it was that tested positive for blood until after they arrested Koberger. So they don't investigate anything after that.
And they at some point we read a report where they took things from Dylan, but then they gave them back to her and then took them back.
I think these items might be in that group of things.
That's along with like her phone and stuff. That's insane to me. Do you know what could have been done in that period of time, even if it was only 24 hours? That's just crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Damn it, Jesse.
But the fact of the matter is, there is no blood in Brian's car, but there's blood in Dylan's closet. So read into that what you will.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning to you, Jesse. It's afternoon here.
It is.
I hope you're not upset with me for my slander of Ann Taylor last night.
No, of course not.
I tried to be very diplomatic about it. I'm not out there calling her names, but yeah, I think I have questions, but again, I'm not sure.
I have a feeling that at some point that Ann is we'll be able to see what the deal was, and people will.
She might answer. Yeah, she still might answer all my questions, and
right.
That will settle that. But
I have faith in her in that aspect. I think she's, and no, not just because I have a little boy crush on her, folks, because I think she's an amazing attorney. If you ever look back at any of Ann's cases and anything she covered, she's an amazing attorney. Period. She'd be one hell. I'll tell you right now. I think she'd be one hell of a prosecutor. That's for damn sure. Based on her history and her, previous cases and all that kind of stuff, and so on and so forth. So I have a lot of respect for her in that aspect. So, like I said, I feel like there's a chance that we may get answers to why from her at some point.
I always have a challenge of, engaging in those types of conversations because it's hard to understand like the mindset of, the person making that argument. For example, so like if someone is of the position that, Ann Taylor should have done this, she should have been more forceful in her argument. Why she let Brian Koberger play if he's innocent? So is that person coming from the mindset that this is not a state sanctioned frame job, or are they saying like in the real world, why would, in an ordinary case, why would an attorney do that if their client was truly innocent? So,
but in a state sanctioned frame job, don't you enlist the defense attorney in that frame job as well? Like it's a particularly good frame job if you not only have the judge on your side but the defense on your side as well.
I don't see that though with her. That's the difference.
Yeah, I can't see it at all with her.
It just doesn't make sense for her to be involved in something like that. And that could be, I wonder, it could have been put out there as to what was going on, that they were trying to keep certain things hidden, covered up, quiet, so on and so forth. And maybe wanted her to play ball with that, and she didn't. And maybe because she didn't, that's maybe why she was not given the options to have a little extra help from the court systems that she should have had. That's kind of my opinion on that.
The other thing is I'm starting to feel that some people are of the opinion that she advised her client to plead. There's nothing that tells us that that's the case.
No, I don't believe that. That's all him. That's his doing. Like, absolutely. They said that more than once, that would have to be Brian's absolute, decision there, period. She can't push him one way or the other. She can advise him on what will happen with it, whether it's a good idea or not, but I can't imagine that she did that. That's just definitely something I can't see.
But I never engage in, shoulda, coulda, woulda. She should have, fill in the blank.
Right.
That's ridiculous to do that in life in general.
Well,
if only, like, if only, I don't know, if only Jesus, if one of the other two condemned on the cross that was taunting him, if it won't, they suggested to get yourself down from the cross. If only he would have followed their instructions and made a miracle and saved himself on that day. Can you imagine how many more people would have been led to Christianity if he had done so? Gosh, He really messed that one up. I mean,
good point.
To second guess things that are already done and over with is a wasted effort.
Right. Yeah. Thompson said they started talks on Friday, and it took Brian the weekend to decide that he would plead. So, and I'm guaranteeing you he talked to his mother. and his father. And, all that played into this. Don't forget, folks, there's a reason that these things happen. There's more than one reason, okay? There were a lot of threats going around towards his family, mom and dad. And I said it this, when this first happened. If it was the case that his family was being threatened and it was put out there, if he doesn't cop to this or whatever, same thing's going to happen to his family. I'd have done the same thing to protect my mom and dad. 100% I would have, whether I did it or not. I don't care. I would have done the same thing. So if that's something that's part of this, that makes sense to me. That's the one thing that does make sense to me with this. Okay. Not to mention like I said, they were at a wall, period. She wasn't going any further with this. They were not going to allow her to do anything else, in my opinion, with what she has. Okay. They weren't going to give her any more. They weren't going to let her go any further with anything, because think about this, folks. We already had an investigation on the leaker situation. Okay. If any of this stuff were to come forward in the trial, do you realize what would have happened with the prosecution? The whole case would have been tossed at some point, I think, because of all the corruption and the bullshit that we've seen. And if she were to put out what she probably has, which was probably her plan, which would have flipped and showed Brian's complete innocence, in my opinion, they weren't going to let that happen. Everybody would have looked bad on that aspect, on the prosecution side, the state, the judge, everybody. So in that sense, that's one of the reasons why I feel like, they weren't going to let this happen. Willie said the same thing. This wasn't supposed to go to trial. Eddie said that 2 years ago. So, I feel like this was never going to happen no matter what. That's just my thought on it. He agreed on Sunday. Monday, he signed the plea, 30th. And after that, public was alerted about new hearing scheduled on the 2nd. Yeah. That's what I knew too, or heard too, Lucy. Thank you. Welcome, Miss Charlene. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you very much.
At a very minimum, it would have been a battle of experts. Like the state's experts would have just, rebutted everything that the defense's experts said. So it's up to the jury to sort it out. Additionally, they wouldn't have given any ability for discovery, worthwhile discovery, and any possibility of defense at trial.
Mm-hmm.
And also tainted witnesses, like the DoorDash driver. She was prepared to say, yeah, that's him, right, sitting right there. He was there.
And she lied. She already admitted she lied about it. So that's another problem. That's a huge problem. They didn't care even at that point, because she was an unreliable witness, but was prepared, like he said, and then admits after the fact that it was a lie. She never saw him. Why is that okay? That's just one of the things that is wrong with this. There's a lot of issues here. A lot. But we keep seeing more. It's obvious that the two witnesses lied. That's a huge problem. Why? Nobody knows, but they did. However they turn it and twist it, they're just lies. That's all I'm saying. So they absolutely were never going to allow things to come. Oh, not at all. Never, ever, guys. And this trial would have brought out so much. Think about that. And that's why I have that faith in Ann. And I think she knew, okay, that they were not going to let her go anywhere with this. Nowhere. At some point, as an attorney, think about it. You're looking at what's in front of you. You see what has been taken from you, per se. Every motion she put through was denied in some aspect, or changed over, or whatever you want to call it. They wouldn't give her nothing. The continuance was the big one, I think, that she needed to be able to get through this. She wasn't ready, okay? Because there was so much, and she was finding, in my opinion, the corrupted stuff, I think, and was like, what the hell? Okay, what are we supposed to do with this? And they probably didn't trust a jury, folks. Think about that, because if everything else was like this, do you not think that it was? Well, first off, we do know that the jury was probably was going to be tainted anyway, because of all the fucking hit pieces that were put out. Okay, think about that. And everything that Steve Gonzalez was wanting out there on his tour, singing to the world, the Dateline things, all that stuff. The jury, there's no way in hell they were going to find a jury, in my opinion, in the state of Idaho that didn't see this stuff. That's just, again, my opinion. So why didn't all those Karens at WSU report Brian changing his hair color to reddish blonde and wearing it spiky? Oh, I know, Lucy. That's crazy, isn't it? They should have with everything else and the other bullshit they said. God, those people make me sick. I'd like to talk to each one of those people up here and tell them how much of a piece of garbage they are for picking on a human being that has autism. So, I'm pretty sure we left off, and if I'm wrong, somebody will correct me, but I think we were at 110. Report 110, and we're coming up on some stuff. It's going to get interesting, per se, for sure. Welcome, Noni. Good to see you. Yeah, this just never was going to happen, in my opinion. The way I see all this stuff now, they were never going to allow her to present a case because everything she would have presented would have made the prosecution, the state, Moscow, law enforcement, everything look bad. They couldn't do that. They couldn't allow for that. Yeah, you're muted, Jesse. I'm muted. Or wait, no, I don't have you muted, do I? No. Say something. No. Try going out and coming back in. That happened to you yesterday too, didn't it? Or the day before? Welcome, Emma. Welcome back. Good to see you.
I think it happened to him yesterday.
Yeah, same thing. And then he was okay. So this next, I think the one we're going to start with, like I said, is supplemental number 110. Well, that ain't no good, Jesse. What the hell? So now we just got to watch you eat your snack and that's it, huh? Well, shit. Well, we'll be here for a while if you can make it back. Leslie Lehman is the detective on this one. If you guys were watching Truth and Transparency, there's some names I want you to remember. Lana threw these names out too. This is one of them. Gary Tolson is one with ISP. Leslie Lehman's another one. A couple other names that fit in with ISP that are just bad people, period. So remember those names, and there'll be a few more that pop up here. When I see them, I'll remind you of them. Probably witchy, probably. Okay, so these are our interviews, it looks like. This is via release to owner, other, whatever it is, when they released the vehicle. Okay. On January 10th of 23, Idaho State Police Detective Leslie Lehman, along with ISP Detective Tim Snell, conducted an interview with blank, date of birth of 2000, blank, was in the blank program in criminal justice at Washington State University. WSU was in the same cohort as PhD student Brian Koberger, date of birth 94. Interview was held at blank blank campus in a private office. Blank confirmed her residence at blank blank Pullman, Washington. Blank drives a 2014 blank in Washington plate number blank and confirmed her cell phone number as blank. Blank mostly interacts in classes shared for 3 hours per day with Koberger and explained Koberger's interactions in her office shared blank with blank blank and blank. Wait, I think I read this one. I did. Blank explained an incident in class where the topic of the eyewitness misidentification was being discussed. Blank was explaining her viewpoints due to her background in the topic. Koberger was agitated and argumentative because he did not agree with her. Yeah, I did read this one. So I guess I was off by one, folks. I wrote the number down, but I must have wrote it for a different reason. Sorry. Yep. The Christmas party, blah, blah, blah. Yep, I did read that. Okay. This is the one, remember, where they said that he had a cut on his ring finger on his left hand. She said she had a good look at his left hand, which I showed you. The one in the thumbs up video is his left hand, and there's not a scratch on him. So that's another bullshit lie. Shut up. So I did read that. I think I read this too. Then I don't know what I wrote that down. Let me find the other. I have numbers here that I wrote down for this. Okay, maybe this is the one then. On January 9th of 23 at approximately 17:03 hours, ISP Detective Cody Herman, paging Mr. Herman, and Federal Bureau of Investigations FBI agent S.A. Gunnarsson interviewed blank date of birth 98 at blank campus in Pullman, Washington. Blank was advised interviews are recorded. He agreed to the interview being recorded. Detective Herman and Gunnarsson introduced themselves and gathered blank's name, date of birth, phone number, etc. Blank was advised that the interview was regarding any interactions he may have had with Brian C. Koberger, date of birth of 94. Blank advised that he was a blank student in the PhD program for sociology. Blank would occasionally attend criminal justice classes. Blank first met Koberger at the beginning of the fall of 22 semester, sometime around August 15th. 22 in Crim 101, I think maybe, or Crim something. Blank described the layout of the classroom. Blank as 45 to 50 person classroom, which would rearrange for the Crim class by putting desks in a circle. I read this too. What the hell, folks?
Yeah, you've been over this one for sure.
Yes, I have. Sorry, guys. I wrote numbers down and I got to find the right. I'll get there. Don't be mad at me. ISP Captain John Kemp. We read that. Did I read this one too? I think I did. 1 second. Stated that her office was across the hall. Yep, read that one there. Give me a minute here. I'll get to it. I'll find it. Yep. Yep, that one too. Okay. Hold on. We will get there. This, what number is this? 14. Okay. Maybe there's that name. Gary Tolson. That's another bad person. No trust there. Tolson has Brady Giglio violations against him. So everybody knows because of the case with the other doctor in Idaho. Okay, I think this might be right here. On Wednesday, January 11th of 23, Idaho State Police Senior Detective Gary Tolson, along with ISP Senior Detective Sean Prosser, interviewed the Washington State University WSU blank 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 Ms. Blank. The interview took place at WSU blank blank. The interview with Ms. Blank was recorded with her knowledge and permission. Sitting in on the interview with Ms. Blank was Mr. Adam Malcolm, Assistant Attorney General. Nope, I did read this one. Son of a bitch. What are you doing, Dago? Hold on, you guys. I don't know why I can't. A lot of stuff happened over the weekend. That's probably why. Okay. Matt Hanley. Okay, so we're. Hold on. Okay, yeah, we did do that one with the Halloween party and the K-bar knife. That's 116. This is the kid that tried to get out of saying that he ordered 2 K-bar knives and lied about it first. Detective Joe Lake. Bear with me, guys. We're getting there. 117. So the number I wrote there, why did I write down 110 then? Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. There's some numbers. Okay. Yeah, we're quite a ways up further than this. I'm sorry.
If I recall, when we ended the live stream that day, someone said, "Oh, good. Within a couple more of these reports, it'll be the Cowboys."
Yeah. Which was, did we do these photographs yet, you guys? You remember this, Eddie? I don't think we did we? Not on this though. We didn't cover these on this, which is good because now I can go back to that photograph there. Yep. No, we hadn't gotten to this point. So I think we were right before this. And yeah, you're right about the cowboy thing. Here we go. I think this was coming up. 1:30. Yeah. Okay. We're good, folks. Sorry. Okay. There is a lot to this too, folks. So that's another good reason why 132. Okay. Yep. All right, cool. Mind you, some of these interviews were done like at the hotel that the kids were all staying at after the fact. So thought that was kind of interesting too. On January 5th of 23 at approximately 12:56, ISP Detective Schwecke and I interviewed blank at MPD. Blank is the blank at the blank in Pullman, Washington. Blank provided receipts and documentation regarding a Koberger stay at the blank from June 30th of 22 to July 1st of 22. Blank called this is when Brian stayed in a hotel for a couple of days before he got his apartment over at whatchamacallit there in Pullman. He called a tip into the FBI tip line on December 20th. However, the interview took place after the probable cause affidavit for Koberger's arrest, which is where a lot of the problems started because people started throwing tips all over the place when this came out. And then conveniently, everybody knew who Brian was, and he obviously did something to everybody. Okay, so that's where a lot of problems came into play here. It was released to the public January 5th of 23. So anything after that date, folks, you got to take it all with a grain of salt. Okay, as far as anything derogatory about Brian, remember that. That is a fact. Shoot, hold on one second. That's my okay, we're good. He was just telling me he was on his way home. He got up early. Koberger checked in on June 30th, approximately 4:52. The reservation was made in advance in blank Michael Koberger's name through Expedia, but only Koberger was seen. Blank was training as a new front desk clerk and checked Koberger in. Blank overcharged Koberger during the check-in process, and Koberger became upset due to the mistakes made on his bill during check-in. The room had already been paid for through Expedia, but he was charged again. Blank corrected the mistake on the billing, and he became nice once everything became corrected. Okay, well, that's normal. I'd have been pissed too. You see what I'm saying? Like how they're like
Right.
picking apart anything.
Exactly. If the clerk overcharged you, you would have stood your ground and addressed that. And then here, over how many months later, it's being put as you were upset, Dago.
Yep, they're making it a derogatory thing, and I'm telling you right now, the way that Brian Koberger has been berated all over the place in every aspect, if he wouldn't have done it, they'd have called him something else. If he wouldn't have gotten upset, they'd have called him another name or put it on him some other way in a negative aspect, folks. Period. Okay, or they'd have called him a pussy or something like that because he didn't stand his ground. You know what I mean? Like this is what they've been doing. It's absolutely insane to me. I would have been pissed if you charged me twice. Sorry. So you're gonna call me a killer too because of that?
Yeah, it would have been a worse look if he didn't stand his ground and adjust the price, because then he didn't even want to be in the lobby anymore. He just snuck off to his room so nobody would see him because he was acting so suspiciously.
Bingo. Thank you. See, and that's what they've been doing, folks. You're damned if you are, and you're damned if you don't. Later, Koberger later came down to the front desk and asked for her to make a set of key cards for his room and leave them for somebody named blank. The following morning, she went upstairs to see if Koberger was going to check out at the appointed noon checkout time. As she approached his room to contact him, he was standing in the doorway, leaving. As they walked down to the front desk, they talked about sheaths and collecting knives. Do you believe that, Eddie?
I don't believe it.
That is absolutely the... Are you serious? So just conveniently, they talked about knife sheaths. Give me a break. Once at the front desk, they talked about self-defense weapons and their knife collections. Brian didn't have a knife collection, or we'd have seen that in the search warrant. He had one knife, maybe two, that they confiscated. And I'm sure you go through a serial killer's house or a mass killer's house or any killer's house, you're going to take every knife they have. That's all they put on that list. So that's not a collection. Sorry. The key cards were for blank were still at the front desk when he was checking out. Her night auditor blank and blank blank remembered seeing the key card that was left for blank at the front desk. I wonder who that was. Blank said that she was unable to fix the mistakes in the billing during check-in, and they had to be fixed the next day by her probably manager. During the interview, Blank changed her story every time we would circle back to clarify her timeline and confirm her role in the actions she took during Koberger's stay. See, she changed her story every time. More bullshit. They should have told her shut up. On January 5th at approximately 4:06, Detective Schwecke and I interviewed Blank via telephone. The following is a summary of our interview. For full details, review the audio recording. I wish I could. During the summer of 22, Blank worked at the blank blank hotel in Pullman, Washington. She worked at the front desk at the hotel. She quit sometime before October. Blank was her manager and called to tell her that she had checked in the suspect of the Moscow. There you go, folks. Listen to that. I'm just gonna say, I'll just say, go ahead, Eddie.
I think that was Mama Bear that wanted to speak.
Oh, no, I was just saying,
There it is, right there. I'm gonna say Mary was her manager and called to tell her that she had checked in the suspect of the Moscow homicide, Koberger. Mary told her that she had double charged him and he became really upset. But then he became nice and kept coming downstairs flirting with her. Of course he did. This is disgusting. Oh my God. She did not see anyone else checking in with him, nor did she remember Koberger requesting a key to be made for a visiting guest. She normally worked at the front desk from 3:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. These people's stories are a joke, folks. On January 5th at approximately 3:27, Schwecke and I interviewed Blank via telephone. The following is a summary of our interview. For full details, again, the audio recording, review it. Sorry. It's letter A. Sorry. Blank has worked for the blank blank for over 2 years and primarily works the front desk and night audit. He worked the evening of July 1st to 22nd, or of 22, at the front desk and started around 3:30 p.m. after Koberger would have checked in. He remembered seeing some spare key cards that were left at the front desk at the start of his shift. Normally, when a guest requests to leave a key for a visitor, it is put in a computer under the guest's name, and then when the visitor shows up, they're issued a card. Sometimes they make the key cards before the visitor shows up and then pass them on to an employee taking over next shift. On January 5th at approximately 4:13, Detective Schwecke and I interviewed Blank via telephone. The following is a summary of that interview. Blank was working as a night auditor on June 30th and started his shift at 11 p.m. The following morning, his shift ended at 7 a.m. He heard secondhand from Blank that she made a key card for Koberger that was made for Blank. Long blank there. Blank.
It's a big blank.
And he doesn't remember for sure if he saw the key card while he was working his shift on the 30th, but he does remember that no one came in that evening asking for a key card to Koberger's room. I can't imagine who that would be. Brian didn't know anybody, unless it was for his dad, maybe. I don't know. On January 5th at approximately 3:53, Schwecke and I interviewed Blank via telephone. The following is a summary of that interview. Blank has worked at the blank blank in Pullman, Washington for 8 years as the blank. He had no interaction with Koberger during his stay at the hotel. When he came into work the next morning, July 1st of 22, he remembered seeing a key card at the front desk that had the name blank written on it. At the time, he was unaware of what guest had requested it. Once Koberger's name had been released as a suspect in the homicide case, Blank informed him that he had been a guest at the hotel and mentioned that he was one who had requested a key card for someone named Blank. I want to know who the hell's name that is at this point. Really bad, actually. He remembers Blank fixing the overcharging of Koberger's credit card. When Blank made the mistake during his check-in, I turned all evidence and audio of interviews over to Moscow PD. Who the hell would that name be? At that point, he didn't know anybody. So it had to have been his dad, I would think. I don't know. On November 13th at 12:22, MPD requested Idaho State Police District 2 investigations to assist with okay, we know that story. Multiple homicides. On December 3rd, ISP Detective Hugh Powell returned to the crime scene for further crime scene processing and evidence collection. All items collected for evidence were turned over to MPD. Sorry, guys. And it looks like the items of evidence were marked with numbered placards, and I photographed the exhibits, and the following evidence was recorded and or collected. An empty Keystone light can collected in the stairway between the first and the second floor. A black JanSport backpack located on the living room floor along the north wall.
Hold on. So almost a month later?
Yep.
Okay. I was just double checking.
You know, there's a lot of that. There's a whole lot of that. An empty Keystone light can located at the top of the vanity along the south wall in the first floor east bedroom. Opened full Keystone can located on top of the vanity along the south wall in the first floor east bedroom. And at about 5:50, I locked the front door, notified security guard of our status, and left the scene. Transported the items collected to the MPD and turned the items over to MPD evidence technician Tim Smallridge. I entered the scene photographs into evidence and located ISP District 2 office. I hope they did DNA on those and fingerprints, truly. So here we are again. And again, folks, all this blue here is that amino black stuff that looks like overspray. These are the stairs. Can I flip these? Or do I have to download this another way to flip this around?
No, look at the top in the middle, like where you're zooming.
There we go. Thank you, Mama Bear.
You're welcome.
Hold on. I might have to shrink it down so it fits, but all right. Yeah, so that, again, there's the stairwell, and you can see the spray there. Okay. So that, obviously, when they spray it, if it darkens up, there's blood spatter there. Little bits of it, looks like. And decent amount there. And there. And, of course, that's where they have one of the placards. So that's probably why, because there was, obviously, blood that showed up there. Now, that is that wall, folks, we saw in the one picture before, where we see the backpacks over towards the middle of the floor more. This was obviously wiped off, okay? Okay, SRB, be careful. And you can see down here where that was wiped. That clean spot there where they tried to wipe all that. And it was clean when we saw that one photograph, if you remember. There was nothing on that wall. So there was a cleanup done, obviously. Or, you know what I'm saying? So there's blood down here. There's blood that dripped down here. And it's darker over this way if they show the other photograph, I hope. But that right there, that smear there, that was where it was cleaned as well. Yeah, there's a little bit more. So at the top of the stairs to the left right there, something happened right there. All right, so that is the east bedroom they were talking about. Good God. Nope, no span today. These are the cans that they took into evidence, they're saying. I think they actually put markers here at one point.
Yeah, there's some with markers and some without.
There's some there. Here we go.
There's the other one.
Yep, 3 and 4. That is I can't think of whose closet this was, but is this Bethany's? No. Anyway, I don't know. There's
I
a pair
think
of
they said Maddie's.
Maddie's. Okay, a pair of Vans, and all that alcohol there. Okay. All right. On down we go. This is number 134. We have on January 18th of 23, Idaho State Police Detective Ryan O'Hara was assigned tip 8261 by ISP Gideon Roberts. These tips, folks, I found out as I thought, but there's more to it. Like, these tips are a joke. They did not follow up with any of these tips. They had some pretty interesting ones that they just blew it off. This is a phone tip that was called in by blank regarding a suspicious vehicle similar to that of suspect vehicle parked at the end of his driveway for a few minutes in the early morning hours of November 13th of 22. Blank lives at blank in Moscow, Idaho. I contacted blank via phone on January 18th at 20:23 p.m. The following is a summary of the information he provided. He recalled the event after the possible route that Koberger had taken after the murders was published. Once again, after. So, like I said, all of these tips that came in after January 5th, you got to take them with a grain of salt. Welcome, Rach. Good to see you, sis. Dunwin said, I thought Bethany's had all the alcohol. Kaylee and Maddie kept their alcohol in the refrigerator. Oh, that could be. That makes sense, Dunwin. Yeah, because there was two small fridges at the top of the stairs there. Does anyone know which rooms law enforcement cut out? Not as of yet, Noni. Not as of yet. So like I said, folks, anything that came in after January 5th that we read that's listed as a tip, you really got to take that with a grain of salt, because that is after all this information is out about Brian. So he recalled the event after the possible route. Like I said, he went downstairs to let his dog out around 5 to 5:30 a.m. and noticed a white car similar to that of the suspect vehicle parked at the end of his driveway. After a few minutes, the car pulled out and stopped at the stop sign at US 95 for quite a while before proceeding onto the highway. He stated it is uncommon for vehicles to take a wrong turn onto blank and use his driveway to turn around and consult their GPS. Blank receipt. On January 13th of 23, I was given a task by FBI forensic accountant Mike Douglas through ISP Gideon Roberts. Koberger's bank card ending in 1973 had been used at blank. F.A. Douglas requested a copy of the receipt for that transaction. I went to the blank location in Uniontown, Washington. This location is a remote blank with no visible surveillance cameras or staff on site. I contacted blank at the blank headquarters office in Lewiston, Idaho on January 18th of 23. Blank sent me an email containing the following, and it just shows the transaction, which was November 13th at 14:36:57, which would be 2:36 in the afternoon, I'm guessing. And it shows for it's gas. He basically got gas. 11.24 gallons, and it cost him $52.85. Blank. I forwarded the email to FBI staff, operations specialist, tactical specialist Maria Tyndall on January 18th of 23. This next one says blank interview on January 18th at about 3:35. ISP Detective Gideon Roberts and I interviewed blank at the MPD. Blank had called in to the FBI tip line, crisis serial number. That now the serial numbers are their tip numbers. 9152 lead 2216 to report a possible interaction he had with Koberger. The following is a summary of the interview. For full details, please listen to the audio again. On October 9th at about 1:30 to 2 a.m., Blank and his friend were walking along a trail near the golf course looking for golf balls. Blank heard a branch snap behind him, and he turned around and was startled when he saw an unknown male and told him, "Oh shit, you scared me." The male did not say anything in response and kept walking on the trail. The male had a slim face with slim cheekbones, a defined face, and shorter, curlier hair. The male was wearing a dark hoodie with a dark Carhartt style overcoat and dark pants with dark hiking type boots. And that doesn't mean that's Brian.
Mm-mm.
Next is blank interview on January 19th of 2023 at about 2:32. Jake Schwecke and I interviewed blank at Washington State University in blank. The following is a summary of that interview. She was looking for her TA, teacher's assistant, and mistakenly went into Wilson Short Hall and saw Koberger there. He asked her if she needed anything, and she said she did not. He was nice, but it was awkward. Of course it was. She got a little bit of a weird vibe, but nothing too crazy. He seemed to frequent the bookie. So they blanked it out up there, but not down there. That's so ridiculous. Okay. So we know it was the bookie. Okay. And you see how they have to throw something in here? He was nice, but it was awkward. She got a little bit of a weird vibe, but nothing too crazy. There's always got to be something negative added to it. Such ridiculousness. Evidence collection interviews. She thought her feelings were possibly based on the layout and the vibe of the building. He made a lot of eye contact, like you couldn't look away type of eye contact. Jesus, really? He seemed proper, but kind of shy and awkward. Okay. On January 24th, Jake Schwecke and I interviewed blank at Washington State University in the bookie bookstore. Now they don't blank it out. Where he did and blank of the blank as a buff and had been named in a previous interview with blank. His coworker blank stated that blank would act as a buffer between her and Koberger when he would come to the bookie. The following is a summary of the information blank provided. He felt Koberger was annoying and wanted him to leave every time he came through his line. He is not fond of customers that talk too much. Get over yourself. Koberger would ask blank for a discount, i.e. order an Americano, but ask for a brewed coffee price. He felt like Koberger was attempting to flirt with blank and was absolutely zeroing in on, for fuck's sakes. Are you serious? Because he was talking to her. He felt like Koberger was bad at flirting. You're bad at life, bro. Sorry. He felt blank was too polite to Koberger, which he felt Koberger interpreted as flirting. He told blank that he would start telling Koberger she was on the phone when he would come in so she wouldn't have to interact with him. Did she ask you to do that? This is just disgusting. Blank was too polite to ask him to do this, and he did it on his own because he felt as if he were a woman receiving unwanted attention, he would want someone to do it for him.
Well, some of us women can take care of our own.
That is so ridiculous, you guys. Welcome, Sweet and Salty. Good to see you. On January 18th to 23, Gideon Roberts and I interviewed blank at Moscow PD at we don't even know where it's at. Blank was named on phone tip number 6487 and 6492. See attached documents. Following is a summary of the interview. For full details, listen to the audio recording. He's not enrolled in classes for spring of 23. Mom Bear, do you feel like reading this next one?
Sure. Yeah. Not a whole lot to read. All right, let's see. He did not remember his activities in the days leading up to the homicides. He remembered getting the vandal alert on his phone the day of the homicides and staying in that night, somewhat in shock. He was working as a blank in the fall 2022 semester and worked on grading and took graded papers in on Monday following the homicides. He had some blank toward the end of the semester and took an incomplete on his classes for that semester. His blank were unrelated to the homicides. He was feeling additional stress with his blank and had a history of blank. And then blank. Lots of blanks. He went to blank and blank with Goncalves, possibly one of the other victims, but never had any contact with them. I burned an audio recording of the interview to a compact disc and processed it into evidence at the Moscow Police Department. That's a lot of blanks. Okay. On November 15th, 22, ISP Detective Powell and I conducted a telephonic interview with blank. Blank provided the following information. Reference the audio interview recording for full details. Provided the following information. Kernodle and Mogan worked for blank for approximately 2 years. Mogan was a reliable employee who was well liked. Kernodle was a very big blank. She would blank and call in sick. Kernodle got better over the past year and was well liked. Both girls were very sweet in nature. She did not know either girl well outside of work. Mogan ran the Instagram feed for the business. She is unaware of anything unusual happening with either girl at the business or in their personal lives. She provided us with 2 names and phone numbers of other blank who worked with Kernodle and Mogan, blank, blank, and blank. In a follow-up text message with Detective Powell, she provided the name and phone number of a third employee, blank. On November 16, 22, ISP Detective Powell and I conducted a telephonic interview with blank, a blank at blank blank, regarding his knowledge and relationships with Kernodle and Mogan. Blank provided the following information, referenced the audio interview recording for full details. He was not friends with either one outside of work. He remembers that either Kernodle or Mogan told him they had a stalker, but wasn't sure which one told him that. He was aware of a Twitch stream video taken at a food truck that showed Mogan and Kaylee Goncalves together the night before they were killed. His friend Blank showed him the video, and Blank was at the food truck at the same time Goncalves and Mogan were there. He was unsure of Blank last name. Sus. Blank told him a guy who walked up with Goncalves and Mogan told him he was there to help them get home. But in the video, the girls never talked with the guy. In reference to his viewing of the video, it looks like the guy recognizes there's a camera and he flips his hat around and pulls up his hoodie. Blank told him when the girls left the food truck, they got into a blue Honda or a blue sedan. He was unsure. On November 16th of 22, ISP Detective Powell and I conducted a telephonic interview with blank, 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 a blank at blank, blank, regarding her knowledge and relationships with Kernodle and Mogan. Blank provided the following information.
Hold on.
Okay.
That's the second time that we heard that this car that they got into was blue, isn't it?
I think so. And Bethany's car blue.
Xana's car was blue. She had the blue
Xana's
Honda.
car was blue. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the second time that they called it a blue Honda. And by the way, that where they were at was the Mad Greek, folks. That's where those two worked. So yeah, that's the second time we've heard that they got into a blue car. Before that, it was always a silver sedan or something like that, I thought. So
You're right, Dago. I think the last time we were on together covering these reports,
they brought it up as a blue Honda, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm curious. I'm kind of questioning this now because Eric Goward owned a silver vehicle, folks. His car's a silver sedan. It was not blue. but Xana Kernodle owned a blue Honda. Okay. Go ahead, Bear. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
I just wanted
It's
to
okay.
point that out.
She's worked at Mad Greek since May of this year. She never worked with Mogan, but she was friends with Kernodle at work, but never hung out outside of work. She bonded with Kernodle over having their first boyfriends. She goes to school at blank, blank, blank. Kernodle lived in a house which she described as a rough environment prior to moving into her current residence. There was a lot of partying at that house. Things got better for her after she moved out. She knows that Kernodle used blank. She believes Kernodle told other coworkers she had a stalker, but didn't hear that from her personally. She heard that from blank. Blank after Kernodle was killed. Okay, Kernodle and another blank. Blank did not get along. Blank didn't get along well with most staffers at Mad Greek, but she thinks it's all work related. On November 18th of 22, ISP Detective Powell and I conducted a telephonic interview with blank, a cook at Mad Greek, regarding her knowledge and relationships with Kernodle and Mogan. And we know about the damn recording. All right. Blank was in a relationship and living with blank blank, also a blank at blank blank. She heard from blank blank that Kernodle or Mogan had a stalker, but wasn't familiar with any details. She knew no personal details about either of them.
That would have been the in A above the last three blanks would have been also a cook at Mad Greek.
Okay.
Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no, you're fine. Let's see. Where am I at? Number 1. She knew no person. Yeah. Blank provided the following information. Yeah. Okay. Hey. He worked as a blank for Mad Greek for approximately 4 to 5 years. He knew Xana Kernodle for 4 or more years through blank blank. Approximately 2 months prior to the homicide, he went to Kernodle's residence to fix a dryer for $50. He mainly had contact with Mad Greek employees at the blank, but he did have a blank. Blank blank help with small jobs away from work. Blank took off his sweatshirt, rolled up his sleeves, and showed us his bare arms. There were no visible injuries or notable marks on his arms. He attempted to text Kernodle after hearing of the homicides. She did not respond. On November 22nd, 22, ISP Detective Powell and I conducted a telephonic interview with blank blank blank, a blank at Mad Greek regarding her knowledge and relationships with Kernodle and Mogan. Blank provided the following information. Scroll, dude. Blank started working at Mad Greek as of mid-July to August of 22. She did not know Kernodle and Mogan very well. She did not spend time with either one away from work. Blank is touchy, gives her a creepy vibe, and asked her an inappropriate question. She said blank was at Mad Greek eating one day when a girl walked in with a low-cut shirt, and he asked blank if that girl was
Sexually assaulted.
Yeah, there we go. If that girl was sexually assaulted, would it be her fault? She wondered why he would say something like that and just thought he was a little creepy.
Okay, stop there. So are they trying to say that this is Brian? Because Brian was never there, according to the owners.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, but there's no interaction between any of them, so this has got to be somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I
wonder if it's like his doppelganger.
Or Jack Showalter or somebody else, but this wasn't Brian because Brian wasn't there. Hey, Allison, good to see you. When Xana lived in the Shark Tank and sorority member, she was flaky. She was a flaky employee once she left Pi Phi. Became E's girlfriend. She became more responsible. Yeah, that's true. Good point, Dunwin. You want to keep going? You want me to take over again? I'm good.
I can do one more.
Okay. Go for it then, right there.
Okay. On December 30th, 22, at approximately 9:45 a.m., ISP Detective Tolson and I met with blank attorney. During our meeting, blank was provided with the blank for her interview of questions to be asked of blank. The arrest of suspect Koberger was published by the national news media on the morning of this interview. Both Detective Tolson and I answered general questions and concerns from blank before the interview with blank. At approximately 10:15 a.m., Detective Tolson and I met with blank, her mother. Blank was provided with the blank and insight into our blank interview. Blank agreed to complete the blank and be interviewed about her blank friends. Blank interview began at approximately 11:12 a.m. Present were Detective Tolson, blank, and me. The following is a summary of the interview. Listen to the audio for full details. Before residing at blank, Moscow, Idaho, she had become friends with blank through her sorority pledge class. Through the sorority and blank, she met and became friends with Madison Mogan, who was blank. During the spring of 22, through Mogan, she met Kaylee Goncalves, but didn't really get to know her since she was in a different sorority. In August 22, she met Xana Kernodle and Kernodle's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin. Why do they have their last names in parentheses? That's annoying.
I feel like this is an interview with Dylan on December 30th.
I was wondering that as I was reading it, but I wasn't sure.
Kind of sounds that way too, yeah.
For the fall 22 semester, the 5 Mogan, Goncalves, and Kernodle became blank at the blank residence. Became roommates at the King Road residence and quickly became good friends. Chapin was a regular at the residence, which helped them to feel safe within the house. Goncalves was a very funny person, a prankster, very hardworking, and a person with positive energy. Goncalves had been in a long-term relationship with Jack DeCour, but the two mutually separated. They shared the dog Murphy. Goncalves may have been in a relationship with blank, was Kernodle's blank. Was that Xana's ex? I don't know. Anyway.
Could be.
Mogan was very loving, a genuine person, social and outgoing. Mogan could be sassy, strong-minded, protective of the others, and could tell others to back off if they were inappropriate or unwanted. Mogan was in a good relationship with
Jake Schreiger.
Okay, there you go. But there was a kiss between Mogan and blank blank while vacationing in Mexico. Ooh. Gernodal was very energetic with positive energy, hardworking, nice, and genuine. She would tell the absolute truth. Gernodal was totally nice, but a fighter and would address issues if needed. Gernodal was in a relationship with Chapin, and the two were very good together. But Gernodal and Chapin were fun and the life of a party. Gernodal was close with Chapin's blank blank.
Brother and sister.
Maybe. Chapin was a social person, easygoing and easy to talk with, goofy and likable. He and Gernodal were never far apart and had a great relationship. The blank enjoyed having Chapin at the residence, the roommates.
Mm-hmm. Blank is a lot like Mogan. She wasn't actively in a dating relationship, but hung out with. Wait a minute. Blank is a lot like Mogan. She wasn't actively in a dating relationship. Bethany? Maybe Bethany?
Maybe.
She was the one that was single, we were told, I thought. She wasn't actively in a dating relationship, but hung out with blank blank. Within the residence, Mogan and Gonsalves were the moms of the group. Gernodal was the fun sibling, and she and Bethany were the young ones of the group. So this is Dylan. Okay. Or wait, you think this is Dylan or Bethany, Eddie?
Well, the date is December 30th.
Okay, so then yeah, that's it. Right. Good.
So
Good
it
catch.
seems like it's Dylan.
Yeah,
Mhm.
gotcha. Dylan interview, Wingo. Okay. Yep, I had to go back and look at that. So yeah, bingo. Good catch. Bethany is a lot like Mogan. She wasn't actively okay. I read that. Within the residence, Mogan and Gonsalves were the moms of the group. Gernodal was the fun sibling, and she and Bethany were the young ones of the group who enjoyed hanging out with the others. All the roommates enjoyed partying at the residence, at Greek functions, and elsewhere. Blank was regularly consumed at the residence. Or wait, sorry, derp was regularly. Wait, I was right.
You
wasn't
read
I?
it right, yeah.
Consumed at the residence by the roommates and others, and blank was used by some. The roommates had common friends with blank, blank, and blank. Maybe Emily, Hunter, and Josie. All the roommates used iPhones and social media applications for communication, mostly Snapchat. Blank wasn't aware of anyone using social media. Dylan wasn't aware of anyone using social media or other platforms for money, but recalled Mogan may have made some money from a swimsuit brand for sharing her swimsuit pictures. So did Kaylee, because I got those pictures. Mogan and Gernodal worked at the Mad Greek restaurant. Gonsalves worked at home for a company, and Chapin, blank, and blank, Bethany and Dylan were not employed. Blank and her blank would sometimes go to Pullman, Washington for entertainment and food, but she couldn't recall going to Washington State University campus. She believed that Gernodal had been to WSU to visit her sister. I'm going to guess because Jasmine goes there. Or no, because that's 2 words. Maybe her friend something. Before the murder, Gonsalves had claimed to have seen a shadowy figure watching her from the vegetated area behind the residence, which freaked her out. Gonsalves had also told the roommates about a stalker at blank in Moscow, Idaho. Winco, we know that story. When Mogan and Gonsalves returned to the residence during the early morning hours on November 13th, 2022, blank and blank joined the two. Bethany and Dylan joined the two in Gonsalves' bedroom. The 4 were having fun and discussing their evening. Mogan repeatedly took Gonsalves' grub truck food, so they wanted to get more, but none of them could drive. Dylan attempted to call Eric Gower, the Uber driver, to see if he could grab more grub truck food, but blank wasn't available. That's not what we were told before.
Mm-mm.
we were told she called him and asked if he was still driving, and he said he absolutely was. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go with another lie, or was that the lie? Because that's who that is. Dylan attempted to call Eric, the Uber driver, to see if he could grab more grub truck food, but Eric wasn't available. Whatever. Wow. Welcome, Kim. Good to see you. What the hell? You know you're watching too much true crime when you come out of an anesthesia with a laryngeal mask on your throat and think you're being get. Oh my God, Kim. That's crazy.
Yikes.
That is crazy. Yeah, maybe take a break. So there's something right there, folks. Either that's a lie or the other statement was a lie. Go ahead, Eddie. Sorry, buddy.
We should try to recall where we got that information from so we can, double check it ourselves. I think that's in the court record somewhere.
It was in a couple places. I've read it in a report already twice that I know of, but it's definitely in the court documents. You're right. Wait, in fact, it was in Hitler's affidavit that he put out. Remember? That's exactly where I saw that at. I'm writing it down so that I can get.
Say, write it down, Eddie.
And Eddie's going to Judge Hitler affidavit. That's exactly where that came from, folks.
I'll be right back. I gotta grab a drink.
Yes, ma'am. So there we go. So the judge put it out, and it was also in another report. I think one of the Moscow reports we read, and now we're being told that Gower said he wasn't available. Interesting. Oh shit! Hold on, you guys. Give me. I'm sorry, guys. A car went down the road with the stereo booming, and my dog saw somebody was at the door. I guess they were freaking out. Sorry. Dunwin said it was also an EG statement. Okay. There we go. So it's in multiple areas. Interesting. Hey, Kiki, good to see you. Okay. It says see blank prior interviews for full details of the morning hours of November 13th to 22. Dylan doesn't know why her friends were murdered, but speculated it could have been. Wait. It could have been out of rejection or a hurt ego. She believes if Mogan or Gonsalves were approached by an unwanted person, Mogan would have told him to back off or go away. She also believes the suspect could have been a stalker. Dylan claimed that she and blank were often freaked out at Bethany, I'm guessing, at the house. And she felt as if someone was outside her window facing the backyard periodically. She normally locks the doors, but doesn't recall if she locked the doors on the morning of November 13th to 22. Of course you don't. Dylan recalled the suspect having bushy eyebrows and wearing a mask. She couldn't recall telling Bethany about the suspect having a big nose, but she stated she doesn't remember most details of her conversation with Bethany after retreating to Bethany's bedroom. Prior to our interview, Dylan had learned the news about Koberger's arrest and had seen his picture in her phone. In her report, she stated from people releasing Brian Koberger's name that I know it's him, but I don't know in her interview. See, These are the types of statements she makes. I know it's him, but I don't know. She stated after looking at Koberger's picture on the news, nothing came back to me at all. So that, like, and I feel like if I saw that, my mind would be like, oh, yeah, that's him, but I just don't remember it all. Wow. But you definitely remember Vampire Diaries. Thank you so much, Witchy, for that. Would love a your true crime obsessed life. Yes, right. There you go. Thank you so much, Witchy. Dylan feels like there has been a glass wall between her and the things she saw and heard during the murders. Blank, blank, blank. She can't understand why he didn't hurt her or Bethany, especially after she saw him inside the house. Dylan stated the murderer was in all black and carrying an object like a small vacuum. He thought he was. Wait a minute. Go ahead.
This is interesting because this could almost be Bethany's statement.
Yeah.
Do we know for sure if Bethany wasn't interviewed on December 30th?
I don't. I can't.
We don't know that one way or the other, do we?
Mm-mm.
No, but yeah, you're right. But these are the things. Go ahead.
In like letter Q or R above, whenever they blank it out, whatever we think is Dylan is the longer darkened area, and whatever we think is Bethany is shorter.
I feel like Bethany. Yeah, I feel like Bethany's name would be longer than Dylan's.
And then in number 5, was it 5? Yeah. I think it's in that last sentence. She can't understand. Let's pretend right now this is Bethany's statement, okay? So Bethany can't understand why he didn't hurt her or Dylan, especially after
she saw him inside the house.
Saw him inside the house.
That's why we said Dylan, because it kind of flows with what she has said. But
interesting. I don't know. It is
very much.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter which one it is? I don't think so. I mean, you could.
But supposedly Dylan's the one that said, the suspect having the bushy eyebrows and wearing a mask. But I also see your point, though, with number 5.
Right.
Do we know if Dylan had an attorney at this point and would have interviewed?
I would imagine since her stepmother's an attorney, she probably had one day one. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's my thought, but I don't know for a fact, bud.
Rach said, let's go with Bethany.
Bethany, yeah. Or Dylan. I don't know, Eddie. That's a good question. I'm going to guess that because her stepmom was an attorney and they did reference that at one point about her being her attorney, that she probably did.
That combined with, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think if we switch one with the other in regards to this interview, I don't think it mattered. That's not something we need to obsess over or waste too much time about.
No. Agreed. But it is interesting because we have yet to find an interview with Bethany, as of yet. But that doesn't mean we won't. And if we're kind of we're at the point now where Koberger's been arrested and all this stuff. We're at 137. Why have we not heard an interview or seen one with Bethany? That's the problem for me.
And Tony says it fits better with this report belonging to Bethany.
Okay. Except for the she saw him in the house thing, which we know was something that Dylan claimed. Never heard that from Bethany. But that doesn't mean anything. So yeah, like Eddie said, we're not going to go crazy with it, but it's just interesting. It is very interesting.
Number 6 with the vacuum.
Yep. Blank stated the murderer was all in all black and carrying a object like a small vacuum. She thought he was wearing black boots. She doesn't recall why she thought he was carrying a mini vacuum, and she had never even seen a mini vacuum before.
She had never seen the object.
That's it. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Evidence, data, blah blah blah. I gotta wonder, folks, if it looks like a small vacuum. A gun doesn't look like a vacuum. It just doesn't. Now, when I pulled up what a beanbag gun looked like, if it's the one that I found, it could look like a small. It's a cylinder, and she said like a cylinder with a triangle at the end. And the one description she gave, and that is a cylinder. I don't know about the end of it. It would. I guess it could be mistaken for like a tube of sorts that would look maybe like a vacuum. If that's it, but I don't know. What's that?
That's my mini vacuum.
Okay. Well, there you go then. That could be it too. Who the hell's carrying around a little handheld dustbuster? You know what I mean? That's kind of cool. I like that. That could be. If that's what that looks like, that could be.
Yeah. It just like clicked and I was like, wait a minute. Mini vacuum. Hold on. A cylinder and it. Yeah.
A machete. I mean, maybe. This is Dylan. Bethany was home in Nevada. Oh, good point, Bobby. Yeah, this is he's right. This is Dylan because Bethany was gone in Nevada by this point. So, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, sir.
Where did this interview here take place at?
This one took place at. Hold on. Met with blank attorney during our meeting. Blank was provided by blank for her. It doesn't say. Maybe up here. It says agency assist other detective supplement transfer complete successful. It doesn't say where this one took. Meridian. It was in Meridian. At the ISP headquarters in Meridian. So.
Okay.
I met with blank attorney during our meeting. Blank. Yeah, it doesn't say anything other than that. So I'll go with that. Thank you, Bobby, for like bringing that into focus a little bit. Maybe it was something. Yeah, but here's my thought. If somebody cleaned this up, okay, a vacuum's not going to get used. Phil is in the house. Oh my God, it's good to see you. It's been a while. Welcome back. Wonderful to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Phil.
We've missed you. So yeah, you're not going to use a vacuum to clean up bloods. It doesn't seem to me that they cleaned anything besides, if there was a cleanup besides blood, folks.
I don't know. I mean? Do they make miniature wet dry vacs?
They do.
Wet dry vacs?
Yeah, they do. That's a good one too, Mama Bear. Never thought of that either. See? The lawyer was here, so yeah. See, this is why we do these things, folks, so we can figure all these things out. Yeah, they do make really tiny little ones I've seen. Interesting. That could have been used too. Yep. Interesting. And that's how she could have seen it. If they were carrying, I don't know if they make like one-handed, but the little ones I've seen are just a little tank with a hose coming off of it. Like I actually had one. It was about this big. And it had a hose that came off. It was for like cleaning your car and stuff. So it could have been something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point too, Tony. If they had some kind of powder to soak up the blood and then vacuum it up.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, guys. Very good point. Oh shit, where were we? I went up too far. Hold on, let me come back down to the bottom. Or did I go too far at that point too? Yeah, here we go. She thought there was, it doesn't recall. Okay, but that was the end anyway, so we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a little one that I got. I can't remember. I seen it at a yard sale, and I thought that's the coolest looking thing I ever seen. And I used it for my truck. It was made by Shopback, actually, the brand.
Mhm.
And I left it outside on my front porch, and somebody stole it. So,
Uh.
gotta love it. Who the hell would steal that? But I guess whatever.
Somebody who desperately
Somebody
needed it
wanted
more
it,
than
I
you.
Yeah. Over the course of the Moscow homicide investigation, ISP Detective Jacob Schwecke and I have conducted video evidence recovery and worked with various retail businesses to recover receipts. All videos were turned into the task force digital evidence team located in Moscow. Copies of the receipts were also turned over and entered into e-file.
Well, good trouble. You wouldn't think the killer would be carrying a vacuum.
Not normally,
But,
no. It's not a typical thing.
Stranger things have happened.
Whoever this was also carried a knife in a knife sheath into the house too. So, Phil is saying, everybody accept gifting, tap the money icon, then memberships, then scroll down to enable accept gifting, and to become a meatball and soak in the sauce. That's right. Thank you, Phil. On November 21st of 22, ISP Detective Jacob Schwecke picked up digital evidence from blank at blank located at blank in the city of Moscow, Latah County, Idaho. Contact number blank. I turned the evidence over to the task force digital evidence team located at the Moscow PD. On the 21st, I picked up digital evidence from blank located at blank in the city of Moscow, Latah County, Idaho. Contact number blank. I turned these are all the same. Exact same thing. Number 4 is on November 22nd. I met with blank at blank located blank in the city of Moscow. I downloaded digital evidence from the blank security system, turned over evidence to the task force digital evidence team located at Moscow PD. On the 23rd, I picked up the digital evidence from blank. It was the same, just a different day. So November 23rd, my birthday. And then on December 22nd, I picked up digital evidence from blank at blank located at blank in the city of Pullman, Whitman County. I turned the evidence over to the task force digital evidence team located at MPD. On December 22nd, 3rd, 27th, I picked up the evidence from blank located at blank in the city of Pullman, Whitman County, Washington, contact number blank, and I turned the evidence over to the task force again. So once again, all of these things up to this one, I think, are the same. Yeah.
Kiki Khan said, look up forensic trace evidence vacuum cleaner. It is black and oblong with a hose.
Forensic trace evidence
vacuum.
You know what? What
Christine, you're not blocked.
are you talking about?
I guess she's tried to do the accept the membership gifting, but for some reason,
a lot of people have problems with that, Christine. It's not because you're blocked, hon. I promise. It's usually because if you're on your phone, certain devices, it's a struggle. They don't let you do it on some devices. Now, where would you have? Okay, let's say, for instance, this was one of those forensic vacuum cleaners. Where would you get something like that at usually?
Amazon.
Hold on, this is the boss. Think about who would have one of those in their possession.
Someone that's premeditating committing a crime. Someone whose friend or parent works in the forensic department. That's funny. Good trouble. Yeah. LE, maintenance, EMT. Hello, Mr. Mojo. Amazon, Walmart, Granger. Huh? Or said state LE.
What I was meaning by that, sorry guys, my wife was asking if I wanted chili for dinner. I was like, yep. Especially hers.
Well, I'll say hello.
Hello,
Jan.
Jean. I see you when I see
Jean.
you. I say it when I see you all the time. I even see you in other places and I say hello. I don't see everybody in here all the time. Forensics, what was that called again? Mama Bear?
Forensic evidence. Is that what it
Vacuum.
was? Yeah. Go back up. Where's she at? Kiki. Forensic trace evidence vacuum.
All right, hold on. My thought would be that somebody like that would have something like that in their possession would work in law enforcement.
Well, and that we said several people said law enforcement, state LE, and EMT. Some others said Amazon, Walmart, Granger.
No, EMTs don't carry those. But I would think law enforcement would have something like that in their possession, you know. So yeah, okay. I mean, it kind of looks like a toolbox. With a hose sticking out of it.
Huh. Could Brian have had that and that been his quote kill kit unquote?
I doubt it. I mean, there it is. I've seen him now on like Dexter and stuff like that, but that's it right there. So that doesn't sound like anything like what she was describing. You know what I mean? And what they use those for is they suck up the evidence into that. They take it back to the lab and they take it out of the tank and they process it that way. But there it is. That's kind of bulky and big. I can't see that being what she was talking about because she said it looked like. That's a good call though, Kiki. I appreciate that.
That gives me Ghostbuster vibes.
It does. They have smaller ones. But again, my point with this is if that's a really interesting thought, Kiki, because if that were the case, you just not everybody would have something like that in their possession is what my point was. Okay.
That's what the lady in the crime scene photos was using.
Right. So there you go.
Oh geez, you guys.
Well, if they used that, they sucked at cleaning. Yeah, you ain't lying. I don't know if they suck up liquid stuff with that, but it's possible.
Kim Young said a portable UV vacuum.
Portable UV vac. I've never even heard of that. There was no Amazon purchase from Brian. That's true. But the point is my thought is if somebody saw that, okay, not everybody in the planet's going to have that. And like, I don't have one, you know, it's not a standard thing that we all have in our possession, but I bet you somebody in law enforcement would. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Or I don't know if you came back before I said it. I said, or somebody who knows somebody who works in forensics or crime scene cleanup, has a parent that works in that area.
Yep.
Christine, I don't know how they would be able to even begin to find if there was something stolen, even if there was a robbery.
Yeah. That's a good point. Like, how would you know? Because
everything's everywhere.
There's that. And the people that owned everything besides the other two roommates are deceased. So you can't really know. I highly doubt it, though, unless there was a large amount of money somewhere that somebody had or something like that. But then again, Okay, there are smaller ones, but that's still pretty good size. It's like a garbage can size.
You knew who I was talking about, Moonlit. Good job. You read between my lines.
Do we even believe that she saw anything like that, though? The only thing I believe is that after watching and knowing that she very possibly could have just basically repeated a Vampire Diaries episode, I don't know what I believe anymore, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened, you guys, but it's possible because I found the exact words in that diary show. So it makes you question everything. Like, what are you do you know your own name? You know what I mean?
That's a good question, Ro. Would they have one of those in like the university forensic classes?
They very well could, to use, like, for instance, when I was taking EMS classes and medic classes and stuff like that, a lot of the field tools they have in lab, because you have to learn how to use them and why you're using them. So yeah, I would imagine.
I would think.
Especially somebody that's learning forensics, they would need to show you the tools of the trade and how to use it and what it's used for. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Good call. Very good call.
Moonlit.
Yeah, well, Dexter was a blood spatter specialist, so definitely not that. I love Dexter. There's going to be a season
jogging
2
my memory, Moonlit.
There was. She's right.
Sorry, Good Trouble. We're trying to see them all. They go so fast.
Yeah, the chat moves really quick, Good Trouble. But thank you, Good Trouble. And all of you guys. Yeah, there was a lab break in that night. That's right. And there was also wasn't there an internet maintenance thing going on too? Yeah, it looks like all the mods said bye. We're out of here. They don't want to be bothered with us today. So, jeez. Oh, there's Meg.
I know SRB's kiddo has an ultrasound, so she was gonna be listening, but she couldn't be in chatting.
We'll get it. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Hey, Tara, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you.
Yeah, the internet went out that night too.
Yep.
Because the internet went out. There was the lab robbery or break-in.
Maybe somebody else went live and everybody wanted to go watch them instead. Who knows? Good, glad, but someone saw it. Yes. And sorry, Good Trouble. My apologies. Because I'm reading this over here. I can't look at the chat, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But either way, that device could be something of interest. I'll just say it that way. And knowing that there was a break-in, that's very interesting. I forgot all about that, Moonlit. And Good Trouble.
Mama D, I honestly don't remember. We'll have to look back and see if we can figure it out. Unless Eddie remembers.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, unless Eddie remembers.
And I was going to answer the question about the cameras. They do, from my understanding, but it was only on campus, I believe. It wasn't off campus. That's my understanding. I don't know how true that is, though. You do know that Maddie's close friend was also a criminology student who was with them that night. Yeah, that's true. Good call. Very good call, Tara. Thank you. Yeah. Interesting. And she's graduated with a degree in criminology. I'm glad to see she finished. That's what I was going to do at one point, guys.
Eddie said he doesn't remember.
Oh, it's okay, bud. You're good. Hey, Steve, good to see you, buddy. Never need to be sorry. You give us pleasant. Well, I do feel bad when I miss things. I try not to, and I try to interact with the chat as often as I can. Reading these is very hard to do that with, though. And with the mods not being here, it's hard to, you know what I mean? So it's okay. That's what I'm apologizing for, but we'll try to keep up, guys. I promise. Thank you, Kiki. I appreciate that very much. Now, where was I? It's weird, though, that they all left it. Somebody must have went live that was important.
I mean, their numbers are still...
Not I. Somebody more important, which is not hard to be.
Just FYI, you're not sharing anymore. So
Yeah, no, I'm gonna pull it back up. Here we go. Willie's live. Well, gee, that would make sense. What's up, Scotty? And Cat K, good to see you. There is a deceased number in the docs. Okay. Thank you, sweet and
Pav
salty.
put out a video.
Who?
Pav.
Oh, okay. I guess I need to put out applications or something. I don't know.
They're being good. We don't need mods because we have a good chat.
Always, well, they do help us, let us know things, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Where did I leave off here, Bear? Do you remember exactly?
Oh, the vacuum, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, then that's what distracted us. Is it? Yeah. So we went. Oh, that's right here. So these are all the same. These are all the businesses that they collected digital info from, is what they are. And it says I picked up multiple receipts from blank, 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 and blank at blank, 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 located at blank in the city of Pullman. Brian Koberger made 3 purchases from this business on 2 days in November 22, blank, blank, provided me with receipts for those 3 purchases and an owner's manual for one of the items purchased, a 2,000 watt Jupiter power inverter. Wow. Blank also provided receipts for sales of a fixed bladed knife, Harbor Freight sales, none purchased by Koberger. Thank you for saying that. I was provided a copy of videos of Koberger's purchases from blank, blank, an employee at blank, blank on January 5th of 23. I turned the receipts and video evidence over to the task force digital evidence team located at Moscow PD. Well, there's Christy. We got her. That's good. On January 11th, I picked and downloaded video surveillance of multiple purchases made by Koberger at blank, blank, located at blank in the city of Pullman, Whitman County, Washington. I met with blank, 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 and he provided me a compact disc CD with recordings. January 13th to 23, blank emailed me copies of multiple receipts and purchases made by Koberger. I turned the receipts and video evidence over to the task force digital evidence team located at the Moscow PD. On the 13th, I picked up a receipt of purchases made by Madison Mogan at blank, blank, located at blank, blank in the city of Moscow, Latah County, Idaho. I met with manager blank, and he provided me with a printed hard copy of the transaction. Turned that over to MPD. And these are copies of the video receipts. Yeah, I just seen that. We got Christy. Thank you, Christy, for being here. I appreciate you, dear. Yeah, I'm a massive fan of Dexter, too. I've watched every show they have. Oh, that's sweet of you, Kim. Thank you so much for that. Very, very sweet of you. God bless. So this is at Marshall's? Yeah, Marshall's. Okay. This is gourmet food, men's furnishings for $21.99. Gourmet food treatment, cold treatment, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cold medicine and clothing of some sort. Or wait, furnishings. That wouldn't be clothing, right? Or would it? Would it be?
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
Because it would say like men's clothing.
Okay. Yeah. 20 men's furnishings. So furnishing it reminds me of like furniture or something, like, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
And that's for $55.29, $44.48, and that is Marshall's. Yeah. Okay. November 18th to 22, Detective Powell and I conducted an interview with blank at Moscow PD, located where we don't care. He is studying blank at University of Idaho, and he met Xana Kernodle while hanging out at blank at the University of Idaho. He is friends with blank, 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 and he was his brother's friend in high school, and he has known him since childhood. Welcome, typically. Good to see you today, dear. He goes hunting with blank twice a year. This was his first time hunting, and blank was to wait. What? He goes hunting with blank twice. Oh, okay, I got it. Twice this year, and this was his first time hunting, and blank was teaching him. Blank had a knife that he kept in his backpack, and he thinks it was black. He had 2 sets of binoculars. Blank is nice, but he can get hot-headed and aggressive. He can be rude. He knows blank, 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 also his brother's friend. Blank is nice. Blank and blank both pick on him because he's younger, but not in a mean way. He met Kernodle and her best friend Blank at blank when he was considering becoming a member. He went to high school with blank, blank, but didn't know her well. She was quiet and on the cross country team. He didn't think blank would be the type to join a sorority. Yes, Dexter does rock. Hello, Diana. Good to see you today, dear.
So that would be Bethany was on the cross country team.
Yeah. I think I thought about it for a minute, Diana, but I can't. It doesn't process for me. It just doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but I don't think it was. Okay, Friday, December 2nd at approximately 9:30 a.m. I facilitated entry into the residence by blank, blank, and blank, blank from blank, so they could begin preparing estimates for biological and chemical remediation on behalf of the property owner. Blank and blank both signed non-disclosure agreements before entering the residence and were monitored by me during their time at the crime scene. They signed non-disclosure agreements. Thus, signed non-disclosure agreements were provided by Moscow PD. While in the residence, I discovered that the thermostat furnace was not working properly. The temperature in the house was approximately 45 degrees. I attempted to reset the thermostat to 65 degrees. And additionally, I watered the live plants that I found in the residence and turned off or unplugged all unnecessary electronics in the house, such as televisions and string lights.
Why would you water the plants?
I don't know. Maybe they think that those other 2 were coming back. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, it's just something weird, random that just.
Yeah, I agree. This might explain why the HVAC truck was there. But wait, this was when? On December 2nd. Because no, the HVAC truck was there like early on, wasn't it?
I think so.
Like the first couple of days, I thought. Okay.
No, it was much
not.
later. I'll go look it up.
Okay, so then that would explain that then if Eddie's right. Which I most definitely think he is.
Yeah, but I think we were told at one point that it was the opposite, that it was really hot in there or something at the beginning.
You know how that goes, but that would explain them being there with the HVAC company being there. Watering the plants is very strange. I agree with you. Unplugging all the electronics to save on electric, okay, or prevent fire, yes. At approximately 11:05, blank and blank completed their work. I secured the residence and we left. Who was this?
Busy said at Marshall's, men's furnishings apparently refers to accessories like belts, ties, hats, gloves, scarves, blah 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 blah.
So he could have been buying a tie or a belt for work, right?
Or a watch or socks or
something. Yeah, there you
cologne.
go. Exactly, Lucy. Thank you, Fizzy. Thank you. This is why you guys are amazing. Boston's in the house. What's happening, Boston? Good to see you. Yeah, that's weird. This is Jeff Mooney. Okay. Well, maybe he likes plants.
I know the backslider.
Can I just point out that the black backslider and front door are reported as being open for blank hours in that 8-hour gap? Bet that the furnace being broken is to help assist
In the time.
in the time of death.
Oh.
Oh, good point, Lucy. Wow. Hell yeah. Then you know what? Truly, it would be real easy to go in and turn the pilot light off or do something to screw it up.
But that room was locked. And let's face it, you're as the
That's
landlord,
true.
you're not going to allow access. You know, I mean, kids can break in, you know, an anvil with a glass hammer. So
yeah, they got it open though.
If they had access to that room, I mean, to replace an HVAC system like that could be, you know, thousands. So we saw in the body cam that room is locked, which makes sense. There's really no purpose to go in there.
Unless somebody took the battery out of the thermostat and nobody knew it, you know, until afterwards.
Additionally, JLR's video is dated December 6th.
Yep.
With the heating and air truck that's in the driveway.
Gotcha.
Okay, and this is saying December 3rd, so that's probably about right.
It would fall in right. Yeah, if they couldn't get that to work right, they finally called and set an appointment and they showed up. So that's good catch. Thank you for finding that, Eddie.
Yeah, he's either posting that on the same day or maybe at the worst, you know, the following day.
Right. That could be what happened, Red. We don't know. That's true. You just have to make the claim that it was broken. Like I said, these newer thermostats, and that's what it had. I saw it. If the battery's removed, it shuts everything down. So all somebody has to do is take the battery out. That'll shut it off, and the temperature, it won't reset. It won't kick back on. The temperature will drop. And if nobody knows that, it's the last thing you check. I went through that. You know, the thermostat will set, like nobody thinks about that until after the fact. Just the furnace just isn't kicking on and it's staying cold there. So that's a good point on either direction. It could have been, who knows? They could have been watering the plants for preservation of potential evidence, maintaining the scene's condition, botanical growth analysis. I mean, sure. Any of those things make sense. Tony Dewan, by the way, I never said hi to you, Tony. Good to have you here.
Somebody else made a comment. I don't know who it was or where it went now. It was Kiki again. That the home heater systems, maybe the marshals or whoever those cowboys were, or somebody will just somebody take those. They'll take the filters for.
There was a large paper bag that came out with one of the cowboys, and a lot of people said that it could be like wall cutouts that they cut out. But a furnace filter would fit in there too. So that's a good call. Hey, Dustin, good to see you, buddy. I have the same locks. You can get in with a butter knife. They don't have it. Yeah, I was going to say that too at one point. So who knows? They did get it open though. They in the photos we looked at, that door was wide open. They took photographs of it. So they obviously got in there at some point. Whether or not we know when, we don't know. We care about maintaining the plant for scientific purposes, but did the most non-scientific. Thank you. Most ridiculous investigation too. Good point. Hey, SRB. Thank you for being here. There's Lucy. A couple of them are back now. Good stuff. Thank you guys. At 11. So like I said, that right there could be exactly why we ended up seeing an HVAC truck a couple days later. That makes sense now. In some sense. 11:05, blank and blank completed their work. I secured the residence and we left. On Saturday, December 3rd of 22, I returned to the residence, discovered that the interior temperature had dropped to 42 degrees. Moscow PD Captain Roger Lanier contacted the homeowner and acquired space heaters to place in the residence. ISP Detective Jake Schwecke and I placed heaters in the bathrooms, kitchen, and main floor. Additionally, we opened cabinets in areas that contain pipes to keep them from freezing. Exactly. On Monday, December 5th at approximately 12:45, I facilitated. There it is right there. I facilitated entry into the residence by blank of blank to fix the thermostat furnace on behalf of the property owner. I monitored blank entire time he was at the residence and he never left the bottom floor, did not observe any part of the crime scene. At approximately 1:30 p.m., he completed his repairs, left the space heaters in the residence on low in case the thermostat furnace failed, and then secured the residence, and we left. Surprised they didn't burn the house down.
Seriously.
That's the day before that Eddie found the picture on the 6th. So that would make sense. That explains it right there. Packing belongings. On Tuesday, December 6th, I returned to the residence. The temperature was maintained at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I removed the space heaters. On Wednesday, December 7th, I assisted MPD with packing the victim's belongings. This is Detective Jeff Mooney again. With packing the victim's belongings at the residence and loading them onto a U-Haul truck to be moved to an off-site location. MPD Chief James Fry and I worked together in Kernodle's room to pack her personal belongings. Due to chemical and biological contamination, we were unable to pack all of the items located in her room. Chief Fry and I packed up most of the items in her closet.
I'm going to pause you for a second.
Please, okay.
I don't know what was said, but Sweet and Salty, we don't call other creators in our chat names.
Wait, what?
Apparently, Sweet and Salty said something about
Willie?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
And a bunch of people did not like that.
Let's not do that, please.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody's entitled to their own personal opinions about people, but please don't do that if you're serious. Like, no, me and Willie are very close. I respect Willie.
Like Rach said, Willie is a friend here.
Very much so. And like I said, I'm not saying your opinion, that's fine. You know, you're allowed to have your own opinion. I respect that, but please not here. That's all.
I don't even know where it's at now. All right, you can go ahead.
I can't even see the statement. So what is it that was said? I don't see it anywhere.
No.
Unless that was removed.
Looks like it was deleted. Somebody deleted it.
Okay.
But I saw it.
That's fine. On we go. Like I said, that's all we ask. I didn't see it, so I didn't know. My apologies. It's all good. Moving on. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. Please understand that, but just we don't voice it in here. That's all. Moving on. Oh, okay. Thank you, Phil. Exactly. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, SRB or Kirsty, can you, Lucy, one of you throw Willie's link in there? Red was wanting.
Red has no idea who Willie is. That's okay. Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing, Sweet and Salty, at all. Like I said, I didn't see the comment, but if it's derogatory, we don't do that. If it maybe would be taken the wrong way, that's all. But to disagree with something, that's fine. We all do that. We're all good. Everybody's fine. We're moving on. And if it was misunderstood, that's fine. Anyway, and it's not just for you, by the way. It's for anybody, that for future reference. That's all. So there was biological contamination in Kernodle's room, so they couldn't pack everything, and chemical issues, I guess. We were unable to pack all the items located in the room. Chief Fry and I packed up most items in her closet and various items located in and around her desk area that appeared to be of financial or sentimental value, such as currency, graphing, calculators, car keys, ID cards, gift cards, personal notes. I counted the currency, approximately $172.21 in cash and coins found in a backpack in a desk drawer. I photographed. See, that's the thing, is there obviously this was not a robbery, because there were things that there was money found in Kaylee's room. There was money found in Xana's room. Nobody took anything that we know of, unless there was something hidden somewhere. So I don't know. It's okay, sweet and salty. We're done. We're moved on. And thank you for the apology. So I also packed up the belongings in Mogan's room that did not appear to have chemical or biological contamination. We gathered items of perceived sentimental value, such as our cowboy boots, wall art, personal notes, pictures, and a mirror. Other MPD personnel packed the personal belongings found in the other rooms. I assisted MPD with loading the boxes onto a truck, which was ultimately moved to an off-site location to be returned to the family and the owners of the stuff. Like I said, I don't think this was perceived to be a robbery unless there was something that was in that house that we don't know about of very, very high value. And again, we don't know. So, okay. On January 26th, ISP Detective Schwecke and I interviewed Blank at Washington State University in room 403 of the Lighty Services building. And the following is the summary of that interview. She had worked at WSU and Blank since Blank. Professors of WSU see graduate students 3 hours per week in class. She teaches graduate level Blank and undergraduate level Blank. Her class Blank was on Thursdays, and she first had contact with Koberger in that shit. Hold on a minute, folks. 1 second, please. Sorry. Actually, Mama Bear, can you read just the rest of that paragraph real fast?
Where are you at? I was trying to watch chat.
Right there at A.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just be a second here. I'm trying to fix something.
Okay. She has worked at WSU in the Blank since Blank. Professors at WSU see graduate students 3 hours per week in class. She teaches graduate level Blank and undergraduate level Blank. Her class Blank was on Tuesdays, and she first had contact with Koberger in that class on August 25th, 22. Nothing stood out to her in her first interaction with Koberger other than him wanting to dominate the conversation. The week immediately following the homicides, Koberger was not in her class and sent an email about not being there. Blank will be providing a copy of the email as part of the administrative subpoena.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you stop? Where? Right there. Okay. The paper Koberger wrote for her class was on burglary. Blank will be providing a copy of the paper as part of the administrative subpoena. She covered for another professor for a Tuesday class the week immediately following the homicides, and Koberger was later than usual for that class. She noticed the bandage on Koberger's middle and ring fingers on his right hand. Koberger told her that it was Jesus. So, okay. So this friend saying that she sees it on the right hand. The other one says she sees it on the left hand. Okay. Middle and ring finger, which are we all know what those are, folks. On the right hand, it would be these two fingers right here. A bandage. Okay. See, I'll stop every time about these things here because this is bullshit to me. It was from a silly accident that happened indoors. She didn't think it happened indoors, but it looked like it had been scraped on asphalt. She believes she observed this injury prior to the homicides, but wasn't certain. Well, there you go. Jake Koberger. Koberger wanted to dominate conversations that he participated in. Koberger was systematically late to her classes. One time he arrived on time and she told him, "Hey, you're not late today." And he laughed awkwardly. Well, because you embarrassed him. Koberger cornered her in the hall the first week of classes because she had not given him 100% for participation that week. She would deliberately not call on Koberger towards the end of class because he always wanted to talk and would go on these monologues. Koberger would correct other students, which she believed was inappropriate since that is her job. Well, she should have done it then. Koberger seemed to correct his behavior throughout the course of the semester and was more contained by the end of the semester. Okay, then. Koberger would present his opinions and ideas as statements of fact because he believed it was probably. And she heard from one of her students that Koberger was telling other students that because she is a blank, he knows better. Because she's a woman, of course. One day, a female grad student came running into her office crying. Blank went and checked on her, and the student said that she had just left class because of an interaction with Koberger. Koberger had said something very sexist, and the student called him out for mansplaining. Koberger stood his ground and kept speaking in a way that made the student feel she needed to stand up and leave the room. Okay, so this is so fucking ridiculous. I'm sick of this. Here's the thing. Let me read this back to you, and you tell me who was wrong in this aspect, okay? One, she said that she had left class because of an interaction with him. Koberger had said something that sounded very sexist, and the student called him out for mansplaining. So he stood there and argued that he wasn't mansplaining and kept speaking in a way that made her feel that she needed to stand up and leave the room. So she calls him out and says he's mansplaining something. She gets, which, you know, he defends himself, and then he did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one that sees this as bullshit?
No.
I mean, truly.
Yeah. How often in real life is the complainant the one who, when pleading their case, you know, whether it's a 911 call or, you know, reporting whatever to whomever, they embellish the situation so that they get someone else on their side to, you know, make an alliance so that they can get that person.
Yep. And we all know many of these reports, we see that he was picked on. He was bullied. They were doing everything they could do to break this kid down, per se, even before it was known that he was involved possibly in this case. She was the one that was wrong. She called him out and said, "What? Somebody tell me what the hell mansplaining is. I don't quite understand that. Anybody?"
Oh boy.
Well, it's reverse chauvinistic.
Yeah, it's
that's
basically
what I was thinking.
the way some guys talk to women, like when
Talk down to him.
Yeah, talk down to them, like especially like if it's a car issue, is a lot of times they'll mansplain to a woman how a car works, and it's like, okay, look, I'm not stupid, just explain it.
Gotcha. So she feels that he was being chauvinistic, and in turn says,
talking down to her made her feel dumb, whatever. But it could have been her own lack of insecurity, or
well, if he's being, but what if he was right? You know, what if he made a statement and it came off to her that way because she felt a certain type of way? So in turn, she goes at him and says, "You're being chauvinistic," in her own term.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to upset anybody when he doesn't maybe feel like, and I've explained this before with autism, he doesn't probably think he is being that way. It's just his matter-of-factly type personality because
right. It's just her, like they're saying in chat, it's just her perception.
Bingo. Thank you. That's it right there. Not his fault, her perception. So that's what I'm guessing. And this seems to have happened a lot with these people. So because Brian would call people out in his way because he's, you know, I know a fact, or I know the real truth behind this, or I know the actual answer. And it seems to be that it made people feel dumb at times. They would get angry, go at him, and blah, blah, blah. And he was known to be the person that would call people out for being wrong. I'm not saying that's the best way to do it, but with his autism, that's what they do. My son does that to me all the time and corrects me. And it's like, you've heard me, Bear. Like, okay, go ahead, dude. Walk away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does happen. So anyway, I was just saying that seems to be interesting that it happened so many times. I don't get it. I don't believe it. Let me put it that way. Because the teacher, is giving him, kind of positive remarks that he corrected his actions by the end of the semester. He was new, whatever. Speaking of which, that was another interview I saw from another woman that put out that Brian was the best student in her class, that he was very pleasant when he was at DeSales, and that she recommended him to these programs and stuff, that he was head of the class and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to me. It's just interesting to me that, like I said, once it came out about him being part of the case, all of a sudden he was a bad person to everybody. And I wanted to know how these people would discuss him and talk about him if it was never him involved. I bet you'd be different. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, my apologies. The following are examples of stories involving Koberger that she had not witnessed but had heard secondhand. Koberger told a female student that was both disabled and gay that he would need his partner to be physically perfect and a disability would not be acceptable. I do not believe that.
No.
I don't believe that. Jesus Christ. Koberger once told a blank student something like, "Oh, I could never understand like what your experience is like as a gay woman." Blank referred to this as a positive interaction between Koberger and the blank student. This was the only positive story she remembered being told of Koberger.
So it's hearsay.
Yeah, this is all hearsay because it's coming from a third party. You know what I mean? It's not coming from these people's mouths. Koberger's research interests were very much aligned with blank and such. And as such, they had many conversations that she did not want to label positive. Rather, it was more of what you would expect between a grad student and their professor. Okay. Koberger kept telling her that he wanted to study emotions and decision making. Koberger read a lot of her research, and when he was required for another class to do a paper on another faculty member, he picked one of her papers. She felt Koberger wanted to work with her, but never formally asked. She did not remember the details of the story, but recalled Koberger had said something homophobic. She was asked by staff to check in on blank because Koberger was harassing her. Koberger would go into an office where several female grad students worked and physically block the door once in a while. She would hear one of the female grad students say, "Hey, I really need to get out of here." And she would intercede by going into the office, allowing the female student to leave. Koberger really wanted to study burglars. Koberger had strong feelings that regular burglars had nothing to do with sexually motivated burglars. Koberger would show up anywhere from 10 minutes late to an hour on one occasion. On that occasion, he brought a note from his professor. Blank will be providing a copy of the note as part of the administrative subpoena. All Koberger's grad level classes are in the afternoon from 2 to 5, and there is only one per day. He would not have had any classes previous to hers unless he was acting in as a teacher's assistant capacity, which we knew he did. She checked with the professor Koberger was a TA for, and he told her he had advised Koberger to leave his class early so he could be on time for her class. Koberger continued to arrive late. Koberger had 3 courses as part of his PhD with 2 female professors and 1 with a male professor. Students in the same classes began taking a poll of when he was late to female-led classes versus the male-led classes. He was systematically late to both female-led classes and not late once to the male-led classes. Koberger was obsessed with serial killers and would talk about it a lot in class. Again, he's in criminal justice. Jesus, okay. The week Koberger was not in class, 3 female grad students approached her and said, "Oh my God, class was so much better today, just easier to navigate." The classroom was set up in a circle around a table, and Koberger would sit next to her every time. She and her colleagues had a faculty meeting right before the Christmas break in which they discussed each of their students. Koberger took up most of the time in this meeting because he was highly problematic. She told her colleagues that he's smart enough that in 4 years we'll have to give him a PhD. And mark my word, I work with predators. If we give him a PhD, that's the guy that in that many years, when he is a professor, we will hear is harassing, stalking, and sexually abusing of his, I thought would be his, his students at whatever university he ended. Shame on you. Because there was a performance issue in terms of TA duties, she and a couple of other faculty members made the recommendation to cut his funding and get him out of the program. She felt that he was stalking people. She would not share his dissertation as a backup solution for kicking him out. The room was divided on whether Koberger's funding should be pulled or not. During her time at WSU, the discussion of cutting someone's funding to remove them from the program has never happened before. She knew of one student that had their funding pulled simply because they stopped showing up for classes. She saw Koberger in the parking lot of Safeway late the night before the Christmas potluck, and he was so lost in thought. She waved at him for literally 2 minutes before she thought, okay, I don't think it's him. At some point, he saw her, and the next day he came and apologized to her. A female grad student came to her sometime during September or October and reported that someone had broken into their apartment and stolen intimate items such as perfume and underwear, and that she was very scared. I copied audio recordings of the interview to a compact disc and processed it into evidence at the Moscow PD. Wow.
Yeah.
I find it interesting how people are getting triggered over what people. Why do you think that's interesting, Tara? I think it. You know why it bothers me? I'll be honest with you, because I think it's bullshit. I think if these same interviews would have been done before Brian was accused of this crime, they would have been completely different. That's what's making me angry. Not that it's about him. And okay, let me correct that. It's 50-50. Because I have an autistic son. Every time I hear a comment like this that's made about the fact that he has a disability, it angers me to no end, because my son has gone through the same things, and Mama Bear can reiterate that to people that may not believe that. I've told her about these things again, and it's bullshit to me, because you're picking apart somebody that has a disability that's trying to better themselves and doing better than most of these students are. And it seems almost like a jealousy aspect to me in some senses too. And that's what's making me mad. It's not about him per se. So that's what bugs me.
Hey, 300.
Welcome, 300. ASD is absolutely a disability. Yes. And he's already been diagnosed with it. It irritates the shit out of me. I'm sorry.
And even if he didn't have ASD, his dyspraxia is a disability.
No, that's true too. That is very true. God, it irritates me. On January 17th of 23 at about 3:35, I served a search warrant on WSU blank regarding records for Koberger. I learned several days later WSU would not respond to a search warrant from the state of Idaho. Arrangements were made through the Whitman County Prosecutor's Office to serve a Washington state warrant on behalf of the state of Idaho. That's dumb. Why would Idaho not have a right to serve a search warrant in Washington? If the criminal's from Washington, but the crime happened in Idaho, they should absolutely have a right to serve a warrant from Idaho, right?
I would think so.
That's how that works. That's weird. Okay. Sorry, guys.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The law part is not my...
It just seems odd to me. I would imagine, the person that you're serving the warrant on lives here, but committed the crime here. That's kind of how I thought that worked. Nothing half-assed. Good to have you here. Good to see you today. I find it just as odd to wave at someone for 2 minutes solid as stand in the doorway in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the first time you waved and they didn't notice it, you should have just stopped. But yes, good point. Very good point. Miss Jean, those students also complained that Brian would leave class and come back with coffee. I bet you they did it though too, Gene, and that's the problem. Why is it weird when he does it, but if you do it, that's acceptable? I don't get it. It seems like Brian was a cold person too, because they complained that he wore the puffy jacket, right? In one of the other ones we looked at before and after the crimes. So he wore it through class all the time. He's leaving to go get coffee, meaning he's up late all the time, tired, and maybe cold. Coffee warms you up. So all of these things, what I find odd about all of this, that these people are paying that close of attention to this guy to know these things. In a sense, that seems stalkerish to me. You know what I'm saying? That they're keeping a tally and a tab on how many times he was late, or how many times this and that. That's what's strange to me, is these people that do this. You didn't do this for anybody else, but just because you don't like him, because he seems to come off smarter than you, maybe, and because he's different than you, once again, you're picking on his disability. That pisses me off. Sarge is the same way. Sarge has Asperger's, folks, and he knows he pisses people off. He doesn't mean to. And he's apologized 1,001 times because of the way he approaches people sometimes. He can't help himself. And he said that to me, Mama Bear, and many other people many a times. He doesn't mean to come off that way in some sorts, but it's just who he is, because he has Asperger's. Facts are facts. You know, and a lot of these people just don't seem to get that. People don't have compassion anymore. Doesn't seem like they want to either. During the subsequent investigation following the homicide of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Anna Cornel, Ethan Chapin, Federal Bureau Investigation Task Force served several tips. Okay. Reviewed several tips and contacted or attempted contact with several subjects. During this time, Brian Koberger was identified as the suspected perpetrator and arrested. And then the following tips were evaluated and some subjects contacted once again. Serial number 78, 177, 954, 1389, 3195. That's an in-person interview. And 8191. Phone contact 8378, 2976, and 5450. And thank you, Phil, for gifting those memberships.
See, Zacali.
Hold on.
Southern Girl Detective, huh?
Go ahead and read those off. I have to run to the little boys' room. I'll be right back.
Okay. Congratulations, Zacali, Southern Girl Detective, Polyester, Mary Holt, and Sydney Queen. Welcome to the sauce, everybody.
Thank you, Bear. And sorry about that.
You're welcome. It's okay.
And Phil, thank you so much. God bless. I appreciate that very much. Very generous. Very generous. Rude is rude. In my opinion, it doesn't give you a free pass. So if my son said something to you, Tara, that you took as being rude, and I said, hold on, he didn't mean that. What he actually was trying to say to you was this, but it just came off that way because he's autistic. You don't think that gets a free pass? Because I'm about to get rude. Okay. If you want to see rude, I'm going to tell you rude in a minute. It's kind of rude that you're making that statement. If somebody has a disability that doesn't realize that they're coming off as rude because it's part of their disability, you don't think that's excusable? even after it's been explained to you. I think the problem is that you think Brian Koberger is guilty and that you don't like listening to people that, in a sense, are defending the possibility that these things are ridiculous because he was autistic. That's what I think the issue is. Because I think if it was somebody else, you might see it in a different light. But that's okay. And I'm going to leave that there because it's really starting to aggravate me and make me really mad. And I don't want to be rude to you, okay? Because I would be being rude on purpose at that point. Okay, Bear. Thank you. So
You're welcome.
I'm not going to
Phil,
be
what do you
mean.
want to
I
talk
don't
to
want
you
anybody else to
about?
be mean either. Go ahead, Mama Bear.
Phil, what do you want me to talk to you about?
Who?
Hi, how are you? I don't know. She said, talk to me, Mama Bear.
Who's oh, okay.
Phil.
No, let's not be mean to her because that's not being any better than her at that point. So please be respectful, folks.
Tim Sarge doesn't like this part. If there's anything,
He hates it all. Every bit
Yeah.
about this. Anything that's not based on a political aspect, like the constitutional stuff. He's very smart with that stuff. This is why he doesn't get into all this stuff. This here, all of this kind of stuff would frustrate the living hell out of him because he can't focus on it and like center in and stay with it.
now, did you see my
Yes, I
comment in
did.
that chat?
And we're getting there about real close to it. Yeah. I think I'm going to read this next one. What number are we on? 43, 143. And that'll be good for right now. During the subsequent investigation following the homicides, I always read the same paragraph. Serial number 78, per tip information. I think, isn't this the one that Lana was talking about? 78, I think it might be.
Oh no, when you start reading it.
For tip information, reporting party RP believes that blank blank and blank blank were subjects who should be contacted due to their long history with blank blank. Allegedly had previous weapon possession. It is previous weapon possession charges and drove a white sedan. Investigators discovered that blank had an active warrant and attempted multiple times to contact him, but were ultimately unsuccessful. Lana flipped out about this, and I don't blame her because this is ridiculous. Let's see here. Okay. Thank you, typically unique. And Lucy. So this is a person that had an active warrant that was repeatedly stated to be a person of interest. Okay. Their long history with blank blank. I'm guessing maybe violent tendencies or violent crimes, maybe. Something like that. I'm going to guess. Okay. And allegedly had previous weapon possession charges. That's something that when you have a quadruple homicide is going to draw your attention. It should.
Right.
Okay. You're going to definitely follow up with that. And then they gave up after a couple of times and said, nope, we don't need to follow up. No, just like Lana said, that's bullshit. You go until you get that person and you get their attention. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. They did no follow-ups here, folks. They didn't do what you're supposed to do in a crime like this. This is insane to me. Anyway, especially somebody that has an active warrant. During that time, Koberger was identified as the primary suspect and arrested. And this is what I've been saying to you. As soon as Brian was arrested, they stopped. They shut everything down. There was no more investigation. They didn't need to go any further because they had their guy. Now, how ridiculous is that to anybody else? It's just insane to me that you got this guy arrested. We don't need to look any further. Come on. That's the biggest problem in this case. Thank you so much, Kat. I can't tell who got it, but thank you so much. Again, very generous, and congrats to whoever received the membership, and welcome to the sauce.
Warning label Nina.
Oh, Miss Nina got it. Okay. Serial number 177B6. Oh my God. Hold on. My dogs are going.
I don't know where he was at.
He was at capital B, as
B?
in Bravo. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Sorry,
Oh.
guys.
Okay. You're back. I was going to finish
Aiden
reading.
just
But
got
go ahead.
home. That's why they started barking.
Oh, okay.
Be back later. You got warrants, Matt? Okay, bud. Per tip information, RP blank and RP blank believed blank was a suspicious male who should be contacted due to his sporadic work activity in his wearing of a large belt knife. Multiple unsuccessful attempts were made to contact blank, during which time Koberger was identified as primary suspect and arrested. So they stopped again. Because Brian is arrested, they stopped looking for these people. This is insane to me. Serial number 954, per tip information, RP blank and RP blank believe blank was a suspicious male who should be contacted due to his residence proximity to the homicides and suspicious activity, which included an incident where he allegedly offered to sell the RP reporting person acid and later arrived at their apartment uninvited with alcohol and had to be escorted from the residence. Multiple unsuccessful attempts were made to contact blank, during which time Koberger was identified as the primary suspect and arrested.
He allegedly offered to sell the RP and later. Huh. Okay.
So all these people that they went looking for that were very, very definitely, obviously persons of interest, they just stopped looking for him at what time when Brian was arrested. That's what this is telling us. Let me see here. With alcohol had to be escorted from the rest of it, made the contact during time as I know. Serial number 1389. Per tip information unknown. Reporting person believed blank was a subject who should be contacted due to his alleged narcissistic personality. Okay, so anybody that we know that's a narcissist, you better look into them. They might be a killer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Alcohol and drug use and should I say it? Which way should I say this, Mama Bear?
The wrong way.
Misogynistic?
Yeah.
Misogynistic. View of misogynistic, guys. View of that'll get SRB laughing. View of women. Investigators began evaluating the tip. However, before blank was contacted, Koberger was identified as the primary suspect and arrested. Do you see what's going on here? This is ridiculous. Number 8191, per tip information, reporting person blank believes she had seen Koberger's profile on Tinder or Facebook on January 18th of 23. I spoke with blank by phone. Blank told me that she believed she had seen Koberger's face on a dating app profile, but couldn't remember which one. She also told me that she didn't have any interaction with the account of Koberger. And so then why are you telling her about it? Telling him about it. And she wasn't completely sure it was Koberger because the profile name was not Koberger's name, but she couldn't remember the profile name.
Why? Why waste their time?
These people are dumb. I'm sorry, but this is stupid. And why are they not following up on? Oh my God, what? Whoa. This is weird.
What?
Yo. 8379 tip information. Reporting person blank observed a vehicle. This is hilarious, folks. I'm gonna tell you why in 1 second. Matching the description of Koberger's near Diamond, Ohio. Reporting person observed the timeline, and Koberger's timeline per his cellular telephone didn't match. You know where Diamond, Ohio is? Literally 10 minutes from me.
I figured it was probably close to you.
Very close to me. That's like I could probably drive there and come back. You could run this and I'd still be live, is what I'm saying. It's that close. This is crazy. Why would you? Because you saw a white Elantra. These These people that produce these tips are insane to me. This is nuts. Okay, so next up, reporting. So it didn't match anyway. The RP reported seeing the vehicle at midday, while Koberger's cell phone data showed him traveling past Diamond, Ohio on December 16th in 2022. Oh, so he actually did. Woo. He was close to me. Should have stopped him and see if he wanted to have coffee or something. $29.76 per tip. I'm just saying, since I'm a pro burger. Shit.
Well, Rach said, maybe BK stole your vacuum off your porch.
It could be that it. Yes. That's wild to me. What the fuck was he doing out here? December 16th of 22. Oh, I know what this is. Okay. That's when he was headed from Idaho back to PA, which you guys know I'm close to PA, so that makes sense. He was on 76 is what he was, which is right up the road from me. And that was where the exit probably was. That makes perfect sense now. Per tip information, raw reporting person blank blank believed that her husband blank blank should be investigated in relation to the homicides due to his alleged previous threats towards people and Jesus Christ. I can't with some of these, you guys. I'm sorry, but because of her husband.
Hey, Willie.
What's up, Willie Will? Good to see you, bud. Yeah, you're gonna love these, Willie.
These are great.
Yeah. So once again, this woman believes that her ex-husband, blank blank, should be investigated in relation to the homicides due to his alleged previous threats towards people and his blank at the University of Idaho. Investigators began evaluating the tip. However, before blank was contacted, Koberger was identified as the primary suspect and arrested. So they flushed, I don't know how many tips down the toilet because Brian got arrested.
Yep.
Instead of following through with these tips just to make sure, as any investigator should. This is insane, you guys. Wow. Tip 5450 per tip information. Reporting person blank believed blank was a suspicious male who should be contacted due to his alleged activity making blank feel uncomfortable for years. Making her feel uncomfortable for this the one with the wife? No, that was the other one. To his alleged activity making her feel uncomfortable for years, as well as one of his Facebook photos showed him wearing a face mask.
Oh,
you mean like everybody did during the pandemic?
Right.
Investigators began investigating the tip, however, before blank was contacted. Koberger was identified as primary suspect and arrested. On February 7th, ISP Detective Schwecke and I interviewed blank blank at Moscow PD regarding information received in serial number 3195 after being advised of the nature of the interview and that would be recorded, provided the following information. He is a student at the University of Idaho studying blank and currently lives at blank blank Moscow, Idaho. On November 13th, he returned home at fall. This is the one that they definitely should have followed up with, but they didn't. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he returned home at 4:30 a.m. after playing video games at his fraternity house, which he later identified as blank. He parked his really long car, I guess, on the road directly to the east of 1122. So Lana did this last night, guys. What that means is that, you know, the drive that you pull in to go up next to the 1122 house to go back behind those apartments right there. That's it right there. Okay. And he lives right there in that building, like right there, very close to the house right there. Okay.
Are you saying like the 500 Queen Road apartments?
Yeah. Thank you, Eddie. I couldn't think of the name of the address there, but that's it. So the side road right next to the 1122 house. If you go up to the back there, I'm guessing that's right there where he parked where they were saying that Brian supposedly parked and all the other shit.
Oh,
so,
I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
Right around that vicinity right there. Okay. Anyway. And he parked whatever this long blank here means, I guess, on blank directly behind east of that. So that's where we know that is. After returning home, he took his dog out to relieve itself at about 4:50, 20 minutes after he gets home, to 5 a.m. Walking to the dead end portion of Queen directly to the south, which is that back parking lot, I'm guessing, where it dead ends and it stops. Okay. While out with his dog, he heard music playing from a nearby residence. That could have been 1122. That could have been the Moy residence where they said they were having a party that night.
Mm-hmm.
He was in between both of them back there, okay? As well as another dog barking in the area of 1155, which I'm, like Lana said, that's a typo. I think 1122 is what it was supposed to be. But didn't notice anything unusual. Murphy's barking. We know all that was going on. He returned to his apartment and got into bed. About 2 minutes after getting in bed, he heard a tapping on the window next to his front door. He peered through the blinds on the window but didn't see anyone. After learning of the homicides at 1122, he read reports and articles that he believed showed Koberger could have been the subject who tapped on his window. Once the interview was complete, I transferred audio to CD, blah, 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 so on and so forth, and never followed up with this. Never.
Mm-hmm.
And like Lana said last night, does anybody else think that's important? Like an important thing that you would want to follow up with at least one other time?
Yeah. See if there's like a fingerprint or something on the window. I don't know.
So someone was tapping on his chamber door.
That's what I'm saying. On the window right next to it.
Willie, why are you getting food poisoning all the time? What are you eating?
You got to stop eating bad food, dude.
Or at least cook it before you eat it.
There you go. Cook it.
I mean, damn.
Yeah, like Fizzy said, he remembered every bit. That's a good point too. Fizzy's making here. 3 months had passed. 3 months, and he remembered every one of them details. Come on, y'all. Once again, Brian had been arrested, was all over the news, and every one of these tips, in my opinion, has a sprinkle of bullshit on them. That's all I'm saying. Hey, Jules, good to see you, dear. So, one more, guys. Or do you think we're good? 3.5 hours. No report taken. That's right, Christy. Never.
I think we're probably good, but
okay.
It's up to you too.
Bill says they redacted that description of his car because they got it wrong in the document. Oh, okay. More than likely, Truth Nathan is making you sick. Dude, you can't stop eating. You just gotta watch what you're eating, bro. Or how old it is. Stop getting food poisoning. Oh, well, I hope you're okay typically. So that's gonna do it for those for today.
Because that looks like a long one anyways. Yeah, I guess not too bad.
Yeah.
Let's look ahead real quick. See, like, what the next two are. I mean, like, do you want to start your next live stream with like a really long one that's dull?
This next one is 144 and it's pretty long. It's talks about Post Falls, Idaho provider, T-Mobile phone provider. Next one there is university. She met. Oh, this is one about an interview with somebody that met Brian at the pool party. I'm talking basically degrading him again. This is another Gary Tolson interview with somebody that was friends with, or he had phone contact with Anna Kernodal, Madison Mogan. Okay. So these next couple, that one's definitely going to be interesting, I think, because it mentions the bar and early morning hours. Mogan after advising Blanket the purpose of my contact. So the next few are going to be interesting, and then there's more to come. I know for a fact because I've been sent. If this was a rural area, an elderly lady came forward and said that she lived out there in the vicinity, home alone. She had on her porch light. Her dogs were barking like crazy. She got up, looked outside, watched a man parked in her driveway out of the middle of nowhere. Huh. Yeah, it's gonna get interesting. For sure. Looks good. Looks good. Thank God. And we left off at what, 146? So that I what, 45 was the last one we're on. We're going on to 146, right? Okay. That way I don't get all screwy again. And I will be back here a little bit later, folks, to do the other stuff I wanted to do today too. Thank you, Eddie, for joining us and going through. Before we get out of here, Eddie, any thoughts or comments about any what we covered today?
Today, no. These reports are kind of nothing burgers. I think this is like they're making a show of an investigation that's happening. So they have some work product, right?
Basically, yeah.
But none of it is meaningful. It's just what they're going to toss onto the defense once they request, the discovery.
Yeah, and I'm glad. I'm kind of irritated that we didn't get a chance to watch Anne destroy these statements that would have been put out, because she would have done the same thing I was doing and referred back to the fact that you're basically bullying somebody based on their autistic traits that they have. So I would have loved to have seen that one.
All right, Willie, drink lots of water, and I hope you feel better.
Yeah, feel better, bro.
Wasn't it like a day or so ago that we were talking about? I forget where we covered this or where we read it, but how the prosecution said, they were listing what Anne didn't look into. The witnesses that she didn't look into.
Right.
Remember that conversation?
I do. Yes, I do. These
would have been the ones that she wouldn't have bothered looking into.
I would agree with that. Yeah, definitely. She'd have bypassed these altogether, because there's no use to look at these in order to defend him.
Right. It's like so she desperately needs to talk to people who are refusing to speak. These are legitimate witnesses, but to divert your attention away from that, they're citing, like, look, she's complaining that she's not, these witnesses are getting interviewed, but she refused to look into these witnesses. And of course she would have. They have nothing to do with the case.
Absolutely. And yes, agreed. And like I said, it would have just been a waste. Like you're saying, though, it's a waste of her time to go into this, because they're all just ridiculous. All you have to do is look at the dates on these and know, okay, that's one more person that saw Brian on the news that wants to insert themselves and make up some bullshit about him. There's so much of that happened, and we know that. Many of people out here do that. Okay, so it is what it is. So very good point, Eddie, on that. Very good point. Thank you, Truth Seeker. Like I said, guys, I'll be back here in just a couple hours probably. And I'm going to be covering the other stuff going on in true crime. If you want to join me, please do. I'd love to have you here. And we can catch up on all the other stuff for sure. And
thanks for having me up. I'll hop out.
Every time, bud. Anytime. You know that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mama Bear.
Bye, Eddie.
Bye-bye.
Did you get a chance to watch The Insider in 11/22? I emailed you for it. I didn't, Echo. I started to, but then I got wrapped up with something else that was going on with my my son's graduation party and all that. I will go back to it, though, I promise you. Like I said, if I get my mind taken off of something, I forget things very easily short term, but I promise you, I will go back to it. Absolutely. In fact, I'm writing a note to go back and finish it. And thank you for sending it. And by the way, thank you to all of you for sending what you send. I appreciate it very much. I will get caught up on it all. Yeah, that would be interesting, Ro. I'd like to hear from him and Kim again. So yeah, I'll probably catch up on that tonight, Echo, to be honest with you. Yes, Tomboy, thank you. Thank you to my mods for being here. I appreciate you very much. If you guys have a minute, just a minute, I'll catch up with you after this. Mama Bear, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you very much, as always. And the rest of you guys, I hope to see some of you guys here soon. And the rest of you, I'll see you a little bit later. Have a great one, folks. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other. Don't change that. And you guys are the beautiful people. And we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. I'll see you soon.
Let's get it. This ain't no slow burn. This a new chapter. There go Cafe the Meatballs. Yeah, we locking it down. Late night, no sleep, minding the chase. Found a new feed and I picked up the pace. The cafe, the truth, no lies on the table. Found my whole fam and this shit ain't a fable. Used to feel lost, feeling chill like a ghost. Now I got a whole crew, man, I'm feeling the most. There go on the mic, yeah, his voice is a beacon. Every time he drops true, my inner lake, the awaken. This ain't for the clout, ain't for the quick fame. This for the lost ones that they forgot the name. We watching the cases, we digging in deep. While the whole world out here still fast asleep. For the cafe, this for the whole fam. This for the real ones that don't give a damn. We holding it down, yeah, we sticking to the code. The meatballs on fire, yeah, we breaking the mold. So thank you, Dago, you a whole leader. Built a real community for every single reader. Only on YouTube, but the bond is worldwide. From the cafe to the crib, yeah, we all ride. Let's ride. Ain't no merch drops, just pure dedication. This ain't just a channel, it's a new nation. We all in the comments, we all in the chat. We got a real bond and you can't top that. From the missing to the victims, we seeing the light. We standing for the truth in the middle of the night. You gave us a voice, gave us something to believe. Yeah, the meatballs, man, you better not leave. We loyal to the real, we ain't doing no faking. Every new video, man, a whole squad awaken. He don't need no fame, he just need a real mic and a loyal crew that's gonna ride with him for life. For the cafe, this for the whole fam. This for the real ones that don't give a damn. We holding it down, yeah, we sticking to the code. The meatballs on fire, yeah, we breaking the mold. Meatballs. So thank you, Dago, you a whole leader. Built a real community for every single reader. Only on YouTube, but the bond is worldwide. From the cafe to the crib, yeah, we all ride. Let's ride. Yeah. From the cafe to the crib, we all ride. Dago, the meatballs, to the last upload, man. Peace. Peace. Yeah. Let's get it. This ain't no slow burn. This a new chapter. There go Cafe the Meatballs. Yeah, we locking it down. Late night, no sleep, minding the chase. Found a new feed and I picked up the pace. The cafe, the truth, no lies on the table. Found my whole fam and this shit ain't a fable. Used to feel lost, feeling chill like a ghost. Now I got a whole crew, man, I'm feeling the most. There go on the mic, yeah, his voice is a beacon. Every time he drops true, my inner lake, the awaken. This ain't for the clout, ain't for the quick fame. This for the lost ones that they forgot the name. We watching the cases, we digging in deep. While the whole world out here still fast asleep. For the cafe, this for the whole fam. This for the real ones that don't give a damn. We holding it down, yeah, we sticking to the code. The meatballs on fire, yeah, we breaking the mold. So thank you, Dago, you a whole leader. Built a real community for every single reader. Only on YouTube, but the bond is worldwide. From the cafe to the crib, yeah, we all ride. Let's ride. Ain't no merch drops, just pure dedication. This ain't just a channel, it's a new nation. We all in the comments, we all in the chat. We got a real bond and you can't top that. From the missing to the victims, we seeing the light. We standing for the truth in the middle of the night. You gave us a voice, gave us something to believe. Yeah, the meatballs, man, you better not leave. We loyal to the real, we ain't doing no faking. Every new video, man, a whole squad awaken. He don't need no fame, he just need a real mic and a loyal crew that's gonna ride with him for life. For the cafe, this for the whole fam. This for the real ones that don't give a damn. We holding it down, yeah, we sticking to the code. The meatballs on fire, yeah, we breaking the mold. Meatballs. So thank you, Dago, you a